sounds.
Ah! Yo, 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 yo. What the fuck is good? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? How are y'all living, man? It's a beautiful day. It's an incredible day. It is so good to be back on the stream. I'm sick. I'm down a lot of money, and I feel fucking incredible. Okay? I feel fucking incredible. Sick, poor, and grateful. Sick, poor, and grateful, baby. Call that a trio. Call that a triceratops. Call that a triple entendre. Call it whatever you want. But that's me today. It is so good to see your beautiful faces. Looking fresh. What's good, Kyle? On the stream today. We have a fun stream. It's crazy. We're at all-time highs again on the stock market. Surprise, surprise, surprise. It feels like a rather quiet day. I don't know if that's just me holding garbage or exactly what that is. It feels like a rather quiet day. The whole world, or at least the important people in the world, are in China right now with Xi and President Donald J. Trump. The rest of us plebs are trading liquid markets and are not in China. We're in wherever else you are in the world. And there's a lot going on today. It is Wednesday. It's a long week, by the way. I'm thugging it out this week, but it's Wednesday. Crypto looks. What do you want me to say? It looks how I. What do you want me to say? It looks. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say about it? There's nothing to say that I haven't already said. At the very least, maybe I stopped some people from some late longs, and that is what it is. It looks horrifying. It looks the way that it looks, but that's okay. This is not going to be helpful, but feel like a bull still. I don't know what to tell you. And there's one particular coin that I have just fallen in love with, and you're not going to shake. This one, you're going to have to carry me out. This one, you're going to have to carry me out. There's no shakeout on this. This is a carry me out type of trade. And I get PTSD when I do this because the last time I did it, I lost $1 million. But it's like you want to be great, or do you want to just be like a casual trader? You know? And if you want to be great, you're going to swing. It's the name of the fucking game. So it is what it is. We'll talk about it in depth. And I'll give you some in-depth coverage. I've cut everything else. I'm out of the Ton thing. Time rug for sure. I'm out of near just whatever. And I am a huge Zeke bull. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a huge Zeke bull. So I'm going to talk about it in depth. We're going to cover stocks. We got a lot to talk about in the stock market. All-time highs, moving crazy. We got smart bulls. We got smart bears. We got everybody in between. Funny enough, we have like Bloomberg doing videos on stablecoins is like ridiculous, but happening. It's kind of funny and fun. And we have Chris Camillo, who is what I'm mainly excited for today. Is coming on the stream at 5 p.m. And I love Chris Camillo. I love Chris Camillo because I think he's just like one of us. I think he's just one of us. Okay, he's one of us. He's a freak. He's like a retail trader. He doesn't give a fuck about anything macro. He doesn't care about interest rates. He doesn't care about Forex and currencies and bond yields. He doesn't care about anything other than the alpha that he's in. And there's not that many guys that have ran 20K to 80 mil. And I'm particularly enamored with Chris Camillo because during the Iran war, when Trump was threatening to nuke Kharg Island, and I was panicking and being a gay little bear and bearish and scared and had my tail between my fucking legs, Chris Camillo was on the timeline like talking like, I don't even, like, what? There's a war? Just bought $5 million at Bloom Energy. There's a war? What? Just slammed 10 mil Amazon. There's a war? Binked it like a fucking Chad. So it's going to be a fun one. And if you don't know who this guy is, you're in for a fucking treat. And I am... Yeah, this is like a personal one for me. I'm not going to lie. This is one of those ones where I am like... This is a personal one for me. So we're going to cover a lot. It's gonna be a Chris Camillo stream, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, we're going to cover what we have to cover. We're going to do market close in 6 minutes, and then we're going to fucking do Chris Camillo. Chris Camillo stream. Tomorrow, we have Air Mass on as well. Tomorrow we have the Air Mass on, which is going to be really fun. He's a rare guest. That's not a guy you just like get on. You don't just like get Air Mass on stream. Okay, Chris Camillo goes on the Stargate, does the pot. You don't just like get Air Mass on the stream. Okay, this is like it's not something you just do. You don't just roll out of bed and be like, oh, I want Air Mass on tomorrow. It's like, no, that's not that's not how this game works. Okay, that's not how this works. Let me explain something to you. That's not how this shit works. Okay, that's not how this fucking works. But that is how it works if you're us and if you're the pit and if you're our community. So congratulations and thank you, because it works because of you motherfuckers. And on that note, big stream. Let's not waste any time. Roll call. Viblet, Caleb, what's good? Swaggy, what's good? Charlie, Alex, Rex, Rug, Charlie, again, DNAP, Sir Weekends, Katsu, what's good? Kevin, what's good? Jackson Ray, what's good? Lit BB, what's good? Kyle, what's up, my brother? Mez, Hidden Character, Swings, Shifty, Sherbert, DTOS, what's good? What's good? Aiko, Pipe Bomb 33, my favorite. Not the bomb, but the name. Booty Watcher, my second favorite. Not the act, but the name. Just a Wick, Yonin, what's good? Pudgy, what's good? Rex, NFT Ultimate Degen, close number 3. What's good? Seth, what's good? What's good? What's good? Blake, what's good? What the fuck is good? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh my God, just found shares of Intel on my alt stock account on accident. Damn, my steak too juicy, my lobster too buttery. Fuck ass. What's good, Riley? What's good, J-Led? What's good? What's good? Damn, accidentally just found some Bitcoin sitting around in my private on an alt computer. My life's so hard. Kara, what's good? What's good? What's good? All right, if you're just shuffling in, you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, and you would like to chat, I highly recommend coming over to Twitch. It isn't particularly better. It's the only chat that I read, and it makes my numbers look good. It gives me like a little dopamine hit. So it actually, I tell you it's better, I lie. It's not actually better, but it makes me feel better if you watch it over on Twitch. So please get to doing that. And all right, we got market close in 4 minutes. It was a wild one today. Everyone feels like a wild one. And I don't know what to do with the Swatch drop in 3 days. I paid this kid. I didn't pay him, but he's sitting outside. I haven't paid him yet, but he's lined up outside like a Brooklyn Swatch store and thinks he's going to get $4,000 for 3 swatches. But I thought they were wristwatches, not fucking pocket watches. And he's out there in a tent with a fucking Nintendo Switch. But maybe has a SanDisk chip in it. I should ask him about that. And he's out there like grinding. And I just don't think they're worth $1,500 a pop anymore. I'm going to be honest. It's not. I put up $1,500 for a wristwatch. Okay, I did not put up $1,500 for a pocket watch. Okay, and so what do you think I don't know. What should I do? Like, should I just send him home? I don't really know what to do with him. I feel bad because he keeps asking me for updates, and I'm kind of like ignoring it. I don't really know what to do with him. I'm pretty disappointed in the whole thing, just to be completely transparent with you. Wait to see how they do on secondary. I mean, there's already posts or sales on eBay of. I have a video I want to find real quick. Pay him the 4 racks, G. You think I just like spawned 4 racks? Here's a quick video we'll watch and we'll get into it. Tell me what you think. Is it worth it? Fuck, bro. I didn't know you had the kid lined up 72 hours in advance motion. Yeah, I don't know why.
Swatch Royal Pop is finally here, and here's everything you need to know. The watch comes in 8 configurations. 8 is significant because it plays off of the octagonal 8-sided.
Be nice to give him some money. You see the Zcash price recently? How about y'all be nice to me and give me some bids?
Bezel on the classic Royal Oak design, which has been brought over to this pocket watch design in collaboration with Swatch in bioceramic. You'll find on this watch 2 configurations, the Lapine and the Savonette.
I am out of the line. He bought me in the line.
The Lapine is your traditional hour and minute hand configuration. This has the tapisserie.
I am out of the line. I paid him to be there.
Pattern that you know from the classic Royal Oak and has the Royal Pop logo printed on the dial, as well as the 2-brand collaboration. What's significant about this particular watch is the crown is located at 12 o'clock. The Savonette configuration, which has 2 of the watches out of the 8, has the crown at 3 o'clock, and this one has a subsidiary seconds hand at 6 o'clock. Whether or not it's a
Damn, these watch people really like do watches, huh?
Savonette or a Lapine, all the models share the same specs. A 40mm case without the clip. It's 44.2mm by 53.2mm mounted on the clip, and the thickness is 8.4mm. All the watches have a 20-meter water resistance. That is right, 20 meters. Now, what might come as a surprise is that the exhibition case back and the crystal on the front are both made of sapphire. That's right, a sapphire crystal and a sapphire case
You like him or you hate him? Like, is this worth it? Should I buy him?
back on a bioceramic watch. Let's work our way through all the colors. First is a pink case with a red bezel and crown. Next is a white case with alternating colors for the screws on the bezel, as well as the
I want this one in particular.
markers and hands
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love it. I just don't feel like it's worth what I was gonna pay.
and printing on the dial. This pays direct homage to pop art. The next has contrasting
This one's sick.
darker and
If I had fuck you money at Comic Con, what's fuck you money?
lighter green coloration.
Because I got money, but I'm not saying fuck you, you know?
Then there's a lime green case with a light blue bezel and hands and printing and markers. Next comes a navy blue case with orange accents. Then in the Savonette configuration, we have a contrasting light and dark blue dial, again with a subsidiary second subdial. Next is a black and white motif. And lastly, the second of the Savonette watches is a pink, yellow, and
I'm gonna wear this fucker like a Labubu around like my satchel.
sort of a turquoise coloration with a pink subdial. Each of the watches come affixed to a calfskin lanyard. And through an exhibition
I'm finna give these things out like goodie bags. I'm gonna leave them on my nightstand. Toss them out.
case back, you can see when you look past the Royal Pop logo,
It's like you're It's like the home poker games when they're bringing the drinks around, you throw like a 25 on.
a special System 51 movement.
Toss an AP.
Now, what makes this System 51 movement so special is that it's the first System 51 movement that is manually wound, and as such, includes 15 active patents. Now, this watch is set to release on May 16th, and I'm sure that as of today, the day that this has been announced, that lines are going to start forming at Swatch stores across the world. Pricing for the Royal Pops starts at $400 for the Lapine models and $420 for the Savonette style. Again, that's the small second
Wait, what's the difference?
style, where the
Do I gotta watch it again? I forget what I didn't hear any difference. They look the same.
Lapine is the hour and minute. So now that this watch is official, down to the screws on the octagonal bezel, is it crazy that there's a Swatch Audemars Piguet release in the world? Or is it about what you expected? Let us know in the comments, and we'll have more for you on teddybaldasar.com and our
What is his name? Teddy Bald ass hair.
sar.com and our YouTube channel very soon.
Thanks, Big T. So that's the Swatches update real quick. You know, we had to start with it. I want them, but like, man, I feel like I'm getting highest I ever paid for a watch was $150. Let me just check this real quick. Swatch AP confirmed. Let me check this real quick. We'll do market close. Yeah, price went down. They're selling them for 800 now. 12, 15. They're banned. They're like a band. This kid is rinsing me, bro. They're like a band. They're like a band. 14. Ugh, I should just buy them. He wants 1,500 a pop, bro. I'm just gonna I might just do it. I want it for stream. I want it for the stream. I might just go sit my ass in line. How about that? Has anyone considered that I would do it? But what's the probably market on that? Me sitting my ass in line. By the way, he is in line for days. It's definitely not worth it to be the guy in line. 100% not. 100% not worth it to be the guy in line. But to be the guy paying him is potentially worth it. So, anyways. Welcome back to the stream. It's good to have you. It's time to get into the markets. You might think, threadguy, why are you talking about watches? It has nothing to do with markets. Well, little do you know that Swatch is a publicly traded company in Switzerland, and they're getting a lot of volume based off of this. My mate works for Rolex, and they're doing a Rolex collab next year. Who? Swatch? Who's doing a Rolex collab? Because that is alpha that we need to know. All right, market close. Let's just get right to it. Fuck wasting time. We got money to make. There's money in the markets. They're moving. I'm not making money, so we got to do some more talking or covering or something. You know the drill. What are you in? What did you make money on? What did you lose money on? What did you buy? What did you sell? What are you looking to buy? What are you looking to sell? What are you looking to enter? What are you looking to exit? What are you on the sidelines on? I don't know. What chart looks good? What chart do you hate? What chart makes you miserable? What do you have FOMO on? Give me tickers, give me tickers, give me tickers, give me tickers. Give me tickers. Copper long. RVI. Palo Alto. Just full ported semis. From China News. What's the China News of full ported semis? Long Zeke, but not for much longer. Your close is my entry. Shorted Bitcoin last night, cashed out. Debating added in my VVV bag here. DNAP, send Loracle for me, please. Hyperdash. Silver long, full port copper. Wow. Bought the Zeke DAT because I'm retarded like that. Yeah, you're not kidding. 77x Bitcoin short, and you've been one-upped. Long the dollar. Closed eyes and held options, expecting China News tonight. From what I've read, I don't think the China News is going to be that significant. Aerodrome finance long. Jesus. Why? I ask why. I'm trying to figure out how to position for batteries. Copper, that's interesting. Copper is a very interesting one. We're going to follow up on that today. Silver as well. Oh yeah, copper is interesting. What else? What else? What else? Give me some tickers. What do you like? What do you like? What do you like? Look at a bit, Ton. You've been really funny recently, like more than normal. It's because I'm down a lot of money. I have a lot of money in the line and I'm miserable. Fuck, I'm late as hell. I didn't get the notification. Nas, welcome. Thinking about robot strategy. Save that. That's Kang's robotics play. Save that. First chatter. Oil companies. Meta. Meta. Can I ask you why? Because it's cheaper, because you like it. What else? What else? What else? What else? Looking at exit Ccash. Just a little fucker, bro. You're going to get me to say. You're going to get me to. No, that's Cooker. DNAP. You're going to get me to say some shit on the stream, bro. Apple. How much you have on Zec? It is public. My wallet is public enough at this point. I don't really want to do P&Ls because then the Clippers clip it. Every day the Clippers wake up and they're like, how can I make threadguy look like a fucking retard today? And they somehow one up each other. There's like a competition. There's like a running competition for who can make me look more retarded every stream. And I think right now the leader is, it was Yonan for a while. I don't know who's winning right now. It's one of the new ones is winning. Please check MNST. Why you dressed up like you're going to Kentucky Derby? Because I got Chris Camillo on stream. Katsu, I think it might be you in the lead. It's usually Kai XBT. Kai XBT, I'll say something and be like, don't clip this. And Kai will be like, threadguy reveals he's down $300,000 on Zcash in the last 12 hours. Zeke Charter gives XPL vibes. Zeke Chart. We'll do a look. Meta just because it's cheap, but they're still putting money. Alexander Wang just did a podcast, by the way. Maybe a good listen. What else? What else? What else? Before we start looking at the charts, MNST. Sorry, Onin, you're washed. I didn't say it. I stopped clips that could get you in trouble. Ha, thank you. Fit trim, wavy 80. Thank you, brother. I was gonna shave for him, but I didn't. I just put some, casual shit on. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Just a little Vince blazer. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Still in AA calls. What else? What else? What else? What else? Before you look, end phase energy long. Also, if you're on YouTube or Twitter and you want to pop in, you want to share your tickers. Twitch.tv/threadguy. Bought some XE today. XE today. DNAP, I really want to see Loracle. Don't know Camilla Cabello. Did you get cufflinks? No, they're just the fake ones. They're just the fake ones. Good fit, bro. Thank you. FCEL really looking like they're about to announce something big. Upwards push with no associated news. Something is up. Something is coming. First chatter. Zuba's 55. Welcome, brother. You're welcome here. Thank you for the ticker. We'll look at it. All right. Let us. Okay, cool. Is that Loracle? I got it. Thank you. We'll look at this in a minute. It's fucking horrifying, really. Next time you... Can you imagine, by the way, being short 7 figures of Bitcoin? I had a lot of leverage, to be fair. You open a 7-figure BTC short, and then seconds later, you get a ping that Loracle has an 8-figure... No, you open a 7-figure long. Seconds later, you get a ping that Loracle has an 8-figure short. What do? Well, you probably fucking close. I'm so down because Zach, I feel sorry following. You should never follow. I told you I'm impossible to tail. My entry is just different and probably better than yours. And so we're in different trades. You should never, I scream, never tail me, please. Keeping an eye on Near lately. Near looks pretty good. I would say out of all the coins, shockingly, it looks the best. All right, let's do it to it. SPY, new all-time high. Close up 0.58%, 742 1.3. Disgusting. Just disgusting. Weekly chart is something out of a movie. Doesn't even look real, really. It genuinely doesn't even look real. SPX closes up same 0.58%, 74426. Just absolutely disgusting. We're now up an official 18% from Carg Island nuke threat lows. Horrifying. NASDAQ 100 up 1.23%. Gross. Semi ETF SOX up 2.37%. I mean, it's just unbelievable. From Carg nuke scare lows, 73% green in about 2 weeks. IGV, the worst ticker ever, which structurally and technically looks pretty good. Fundamentally awful, is down 1%. It's unbelievable. My favorite bit in the morning is watching the stock guys in the morning amidst my favorite, but everybody else. And I watch them until they start complaining about how much software is underperforming. And I think to myself, God, this is so annoying hearing you guys complain about software underperformance. And then I open a Twitch stream and I complain about crypto underperformance. And I'm like, I get it. The Dow basically flat and Q's up a full percentage point. They are now, oh my God, 28% on the triple Q's since Carg Island nuke lows. Cryptocurrency. First of all, the VIX down 0.5%, 1790. Bitcoin, which I'm going to be honest, I don't think it looks that bad. It looks boring, which is awful, but it doesn't look that bad structurally here. 79.7. Low time frame is ugly but decent. Really low time frame is decent. Medium time frame is really ugly. High time frame is somewhere in the middle. Like low time frame is like decent but ugly. Medium time frame is probably the worst. And then higher, like on the daily, not the worst. Not the worst. Your real problem is no flows. Okay? That is, I'll get to MNST. We'll get there. I got to go through the whole list. You know how it goes. Chat knows how it goes. I got to get through the whole list. 3 days is decent, but weak. No flows, no volume, no nothing. So I don't know. I mean, look, if at any point this thing was able to get back above 82, it feels like we're going to go for it. But until 82, we're stuck in a dead zone on BTC. So that is what that is. Zcash, pretty ugly. Pretty ugly on Zcash, I must admit. I have a pretty clear plan on Zcash because unfortunately Zcash is like, it's like having the nicest house in a horrifying neighborhood is basically what Zcash is. I'm still in the long. My entry is, I don't know, 370, 4x leverage with a lot of size. Chris Camillo will be on in 48 minutes. A lot of size. What I think is going to happen is they're going to dump this to about, I don't know, 500, 490, 480, at which point I'm going to empty my perps book and buy. And I'm either going to be a hero or I'm going to round trip mid 6 figures. Either way, it's going to be entertaining. And either way, we're going to get to an outcome one way or another. What would violate your thesis? That's the problem. I don't think anything would violate my thesis other than a time rug, which makes this very unfortunate. This is part of the dichotomy between being a trader and being an investor. Because I'm on leverage, which like makes this hard. I knew this. I always said this next leg would be the hardest. We were not going to just slice 750 in a straight line. So I'm basically prepared for 500, at which point I am going to bid very hard because I just think I'm right in the Zcash trade. I really believe that I'm right. Ultimately, we're going to see. My biggest risk here is time. Biggest risk here is time and my ability to sit through it. It's driving me crazy. I'm not gonna lie. The trade's driving me crazy. I've watched every candle tick. If I told you my target, you wouldn't believe me, so I'm not gonna tell you it. But I don't really do price targets, by the way. I don't really do price targets. I'm not a big fan of it. I do entries, but I don't really do exits. I sort of just exit when I enter on a ball tingle and I exit on a ball tingle. But I wouldn't sell a token until an all-time high rip, right? Because it's like if I didn't sell 650, then I'm not selling until a clear ATH. So that's my plan on Zcash, if you're wondering. Now, on the rest of this stuff, I'm not really interested in touching any of it. I think Near looks pretty good, honestly. But I just got frustrated and didn't feel like sitting in it. Near looks good. ETH looks terrible, but it could turn it around above 2,500. Sol also looks terrible, but could turn it around over like 98, 99, 100. Monero, basically the same thing. Hyperliquid, exact same thing. You got to get above 45 and some change. Bitcoin dominance is whatever. Bonds are ripping. Stretches at 100. And so that means we have to check. Also, Malcolm, let me know if the AC's on. It's fucking really hot in here. They bought 3,100 BTC, which is... is what? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They bought almost $250 million worth of Bitcoin, and the chart is just like uninspired. Really uninspired. I mean, you could argue that it's just printing the same pattern over and over. Did it once, did it twice, did it 3 times, and we'll see. But I think, again, I didn't think crypto was going to go for it, but I thought I had a chance. I placed my bids accordingly. And now we're at a point where it's got to just turn around or nothing changes on crypto. And so I would not be firing any real bids on a lot of this stuff unless you had some serious conviction. So that is crypto. Gold looks decent. Silver looks great. I was fired up about silver today. I almost bid it. I almost placed a silver bid. I didn't do it. But I think silver looks really good. Is anyone in this trade? I know DNAP said he is. Is anyone in the silver trade? I think it looks really good. And I think a lot of people forgot about it, about how explosive it obviously could be, given what we saw in like January, early February. We saw how explosive it could be. Bro, don't you own a ton of silver jewelry? You're in the trade? Yeah, I guess. I do have a bunch of silver jewelry, but nothing really expensive. And it's all like designer shit. So it's like cheap designer. So it's not this actual silver melt value. It's like whatever. And then copper, which this is going to be a fun one. Really, this is going to be a fun one to watch. You sort of got your like ATH, your like real ATH break. Pull back to sit right on top of it. And then we'll see what happens. Is anyone in the, this is the fun one to watch. I'm going to enjoy watching this. Definitely this will be on the daily watch list over the next couple weeks. Is anyone in the copper trade? Because I think it looks wild, honestly. I mean, look, if we're going to just keep ripping AI bottlenecks, copper has a good thesis for being an AI bottleneck. This is a fun one. I don't know if I'm going to take this just because I'm distracted, but it's kind of textbook, really, right? On the real ATH, like the ATH wick. Like if you were to look at this chart compared to like, okay, watch, we'll look at this. I'll add this just for the sake of, this is going to be a terrible comp, but just for fun. Really terrible comp, but like these things have nothing in relation at all, except for the fact that I like this like top wick thing. Top wick, consolidate for a minute, and then ATH. But the chart's like nothing similar. I thought it would be more similar than it actually is. Knock it off the list. But I don't know. It's a fun one. We'll see if I end up taking it, but I am going to enjoy following it. Kind of bouncing right in ATH. Silver harder than copper. Yeah, but one of them you have ATH, right? And then we have uranium now on the list, which a lot of the CT guys like. I don't know. It looks kind of uninspired. I'd be down to trade this thing like above 60 maybe, but it looks relatively uninspired if I'm being... Is anyone in uranium? This is the URA, Global Uranium ETF. If there's a better thing I should track, let me know. All right, moving on. Oil, energy, crude down 1%, Brent down 1.5. And then all of our energy names got crushed. TLN, crushed. CEG, crushed. VST, crushed. NRG, crushed. Everywhere. Looks like it wants a gap fill down here. Not great. Anthems and souls. Your goal should be to explain the Zeke thesis to Chris. For some reason, I don't really want to do that at all. I kind of just want to ask him questions. For some reason, I have no interest in doing that. Thought I got fucked in my lungs today. What do you win? What do you have? Talk to me, man. Actually, let's check this. Anthems and souls. What do you win, brother? Talk to me. Talk to me. Souls. What is it? It's like a, whoa. What is souls? It's like a uranium play, energy play. Publicly traded specialty chemicals company to begin trading in Nasdaq October 2025. Low global warming potential materials, LGWP, including refrigerants and electronic materials. Jesus. Uranium spinoff from Honeywell. It's a garbage Anthem stock. What's the market cap? 14B. Well, the garbage Anthem stock looks pretty good. Fun ATH one as well. You're not that much if you took it, but pretty clean. Add it to the list. We'll come back to it. All right, Semi's big AI. Sive Serenity stock monster. Must admit. Hate to say it. Up 31% today. Nokia up 12. Monster. Marvell up 8. ARM up 6. Rocket Lab continues. Gap up 5.6%. Micron, the air mass stock, who will be on our stream tomorrow, is now up 54% from the public air mass full port entry. He'll be on tomorrow. Cerebrus IPO is, that's a good point. What time is Cerebrus IPO? Thursday, tomorrow. I guess tomorrow, like trading hours, like will it be open when the stock market opens? Do we have a plan for this? I don't know if we have a plan for this. I kind of want to just like ape it, just to fucking ape it. I don't know if we have a plan for this. Like I also saw data. They also do data center cooling, uranium conversions, and semiconductor manufacturing. So it seems like you're in it. I don't have a strat really, but what I will say is I think Cerebrus is going to be a pretty good liquidity test. So final price decided tonight. It'll be a pretty good liquidity test. Like if Cerebrus rips and everything else dumps memory-wise, if AMD dumps, if NVIDIA dumps, if a lot of these other names dump, it is not going to be a great sign as far as the hot ball of money. But if Cerebrus rips and everything else also rips, then I think you get pretty bulled up or rather than get pretty bulled up, I think you get less afraid of future IPOs. Now, 50-ish billion versus like 1 trillion multiple times is not the same thing, but it's going to be like a decent little feeler for liquidity in the market, especially on the memory names. TSMC up 5, ASM up 4, Google up 4, new ATH. Bloom Energy, Chris Camillo stock, Tesla up 3. Looks nice. Was on audio, now just seeing the suit. Congratulations, man. May your eyes be blessed. NVIDIA, anyone in this ATH trade, really clean. Really clean. You're now up 8%. One of the things I've noticed with this ATH breakout style, you'll see the same on copper and a bunch of these names, which is like it will break it, retest, and then really break it on a lot of these ATH pulls. It's not a strategy I'm super comfortable with, but I am going to try more often. Because I took this on April 27th. I took the first NVIDIA breakout, and I just like rode it for a couple percent and then rode it back down. Stopped, break even, basically. Small loss, just like trying shit. Not even a left shoulder bump fade guy. And then it comes at it again. Strong increasing volume, comes out again, then pop pops it, which is nice. Jensen's currently on a plane to China. Meta up 2.5. Amazon, the Chris Camillo stock with a really strong day. Best stream on earth, I agree. Oracle 1.5, QCOM. Apple had a sick day, back of a 300. Biggest losers on this list, Microsoft, Adobe, and Salesforce. Consumer names and stocks. Number 1, Swatch. The Swatch Group is down 2% today, but it appears that the Switzerland market is still open. How does this work? This is a weird, I don't fucking know how this works at all. But I'm very curious to see how this trades. I'm very curious to see how this trades. Like if this is, I mean, look, this is going to be a giga sellout, right? Every Swatch store in America is going to have a line, if not already, out front. And every single one of these is going to be off the rack instantly. And they're going to be reselling it. It's 10:30 p.m. in Switzerland right now. So I'm curious to see, like, if this makes a serious move. The yellow line is where the collab was announced. This is a Chris Camillo type of trade. I'm going to ask him about it. The difference between this and, like, a typical Chris Camillo trade is that a lot of times Chris Camillo will, like, trade something. It'll be niche. And a lot of times he mentions it's, like, women's and children's products that, like, Wall Street is slow to adjust to. Like, it's not like Wall Street's like male dominated, right? They're not like accustomed to the like the toy from Frozen that's selling super crazy. And so this one I think is a little bit more public than a lot of the intricacies he usually takes on. This is definitely a lazy Camillo trade, but I don't know. It feels akin to City Sweeney, American Eagle a little bit. So viral. And so you'd be up 11% if you aped on the announcement, and top tick of like 21%. But it would be fucking. Is anyone in this trade? Somebody be in it, please. Somebody please be in it. Tell me one person's in it. Come on. Tell me one person's in it. Come on. One person's got to be in it in this whole stream. One person, please. Please. Nobody, dude. One person? Nobody? I don't even own a watch. Not one person in this whole Twitch chat. DNAP, buy some options on the company card. Buy some like 230 options on the company card. You're overhyping it. There's no hype. It's a fun one. I love a good trade. Use the company card. Call Malcolm, just get approval. The code will come to me, so I'll give you approval and buy some options to like 230 calls, 225 maybe, and see what happens. But anyways, consumer names we care about: Nebius, Monster, Texas Instruments, good day. Circle had a really good day. Is anyone in this? This is getting some hype around the Clarity Act getting passed. I don't know. People like this. Circle. I'm a little bit afraid of it with the ARC announcement, but it does look decent structurally. Reddit, people like in this chat. Snap, terrible. Roblox, terrible. IBKR, I love. That's where he's going to trade the Switch thing probably. And then anything else we really care about. MSTR is down 4. Eli's, what are we doing, brother? Lulu, Figma, the worst stock ever, down 2. Hood, Camillo stock, down 2. GME, Ryan Cohen went on a podcast. He went on Anthony Pompliano, and talked some more about GME, or talked more about eBay. He said eBay needs to take Ozempic, or a bloated company. I like that line, particularly. I'm a fan. I'm actively trying to get Ryan Cohen on the stream. If you know him, let me know. And eBay is... Wow. My God. I mean, eBay going up would signal, theoretically, confidence in this takeover at 125. Right? I would suggest maybe that would be the case. The takeover's done. No, bro. I don't know. They're not getting bought by GameStop. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they are, but he seems to be pretty serious about it, though. And they put in a good offer. Now, whether they can afford it or not, the bid was rejected, but I believe it can go over their head to shareholders. And potentially this is GameStop's just twapping eBay because they don't own that much. They only own options. They bought a lot of options. They're up on the options, by the way, probably. They're actually probably up a lot on the eBay calls. Is that public? Can we see? GameStop eBay holdings. Do you follow RVI? It's on the list for today. We'll get to it. Check his Hyperdash. Is it public or P&L? How do I find it? Ryan Cohen eBay holdings. Fuck, how do I find it? Ask AI. Are we long Baba? There comes a time in every man's life where they ask, should I long Baba? Okay. Recently, Ryan Cohen and Jimmy submitted an offer to buy eBay. In the filings, they revealed owning 5% of eBay via options. Where can I find? I'm gonna fix it. Where can I find their holdings and potential P&L? Let me fix this. Let me get off just in case I have some dumb shit on the screen. Let me go back to ChatGPT. And then boom. I want to see the pick. Wait, let's just check. He's probably up a lot. Huh, was that a decent trade? Like, just on the news that even if they're not going to buy it, they don't want to lose money? Was that a good trade? Huh. I guess they revealed it way later, though. Come on, check. No, they're down. So they're the 13D, which is quarterly, cooked. Yeah, cooked. It's the 13D. Whatever. They also bought shares at 117. They bought the top. They bought shares at 117. And they're down 120K. They didn't buy that many fucking shares. I could have bought their size. Okay, whatever. That would have been fun. Okay, last but not least, alts. The leader's Barachain. Ridiculous. Yeah, how? By the way, how did they buy 117? Where on this chart is 117? How did they buy 117? It's never traded at 117. He called Sailor, yeah. In February. How? That's ridiculous. Jito, decent. For some reason, Doge looks pretty good, by the way. I don't know if anyone's in this. But Doge looks decent. And everything else looks terrible. VVV looks fine, I guess. Zcash, terrible. Everything else, altcoin related, is horrible. And then really quick, we'll check on chain just because I care about you guys and I love some of you. Scam Altman, Viblet, I'm sorry. Oh, 800K, not bad. Hantavirus. No. Utia. Ugh. Asteroid. Somehow. How? Cards. And Bernie, I guess. Yeah, nothing. Okay. That's the market. Quick check-in. Our dear friend and my sworn mortal enemy. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to say. Oh, MNST real quick. I got you. Monster. Whoa, what is this? Why? It's an $84 billion company. Why? Wow. Oh, I skipped troll. What's troll? Wow, 125. It's a Chris Camillo ad trade right here, by the way. MNST. Kita, stop. Come on. Oh, and Roaring Kitty coin. Monsters Public. It's worth $100 billion. RKC. 6 mil. Got it. Okay. Checking in on our friend Loracle. Now up $42 million. Bitcoin 20x short is now up 200K. Ton short 10K. Hyperliquid 5x short 3.3 mil. Long gold down. Short the NASDAQ on chain. Down flat. Short SanDisk up a mil. And is now short. New position. CBRS. Oh, he's only short $1,000 with the CBRS. He's up $9 on the CRBS short. Up $9. And so that is our market open. Now, we have the meeting of a lifetime happening right now of Trump and basically the rest of every important American CEO in the world is headed to China right now. And I am going to first read you like an initial take, and then I'm going to completely contradict it because I don't think China, I think you should have low expectations for news coming out of China is what it feels like. I was on the other side of this. I was excited for some thunder, but it doesn't really feel like we are going to get that out of China. So first, I'm going to read you a Player Daddy tweet, who I think is one of the smarter people on Twitter on the macro side. And then I'm going to read you a counterintuitive take. And then we're going to shortly get to Chris Camillo, and then I'm going to stay on after, and we're going to cover a lot of stuff. So, one, over the weekend, we got a surprisingly hardline counter from Iran. Very true. Seemingly walking back weeks of progress in the talks. This was chalked up to the split camps with Iran, the IRGC versus civilian government. What if this was Iran doing China's bidding to maximize Xi's leverage into the talks? The timing is uncanny. If I were China, this is exactly what I would do. There was no cost to Iran since clearly there were not going to be any attacks right before the Xi summit. That feels very generous on their ability to coordinate, but nonetheless, I appreciate the take. Yesterday, we got an article on Reuters that the U.S. and China have agreed to transit through Hormuz should be free and open. Most notably, the U.S. statement was affirmed by the Chinese. This is a strong signal on what the Chinese are thinking. 3, what do the Chinese want? You can make a strong case either way. The bearish view is that China wants Iran to control Hormuz because they have the de facto control over it. They can use that to isolate countries diplomatically. Iran controlling Hormuz represents a massive weakening of the U.S. naval guarantee and imperial prestige. And if it spirals out into a full-on ground war, which I really don't think is going to happen, that massively sucks U.S. resources and opens up the bullish view is that China needs the spice to flow. And anything that negatively impacts global growth is bad for them as the world's factory. 4, overall, I've come to the conclusion that China prefers for Hormuz to be open and free, but they want a max extract from Trump in exchange for helping out. Xi gets to tout a big diplomatic win. Of course, China doesn't have infinite leverage over Iran, but they have meaningful influence given they are the main buyer of their crude oil and thus the source of funds, and also of key goods and military hardware. 5, you can see the contours of a deal here. China helps with Iran and throws in other token issues like rare earths. U.S. drops tariffs, gives them NVIDIA chips, which, by the way, Jensen was specifically requested from China. So maybe there's some NVIDIA tie-in here. And perhaps some subtle shifts on Taiwan. He mentions it. Note that Jensen was not going on the trip and then was added last minute. This is signal his presence was specifically requested by China. Interesting. If this deal comes together, we have the combination of 3 bullish events for the equity index at once. We have Hormuz reopening. We have tariffs being dropped. We have NVIDIA expanding sales into China. put the geopolitics of the AI race aside because clearly this is a massive own goal from that perspective. But I'm focusing on how the market is going to respond. This is a scenario, not a certainty, but there is a lot of logic to it. It's a win-win on both sides. It would be tremendously bullish. This is probably the best case scenario. Now, the other case scenario is that China is kind of a nothing burger. And this headline had come out right before we got on stream, which is that the Trump-Xi summit is downsized as expectations fall. The Trump-Xi meeting in Beijing is now expected to be a limited, low-impact summit focused on maintaining stability rather than major deals. Key topics include trade, Iran, and fentanyl, but analysts say the U.S. has little leverage and Beijing is offering no clear agenda or concessions. Instead of a grand bargain, the talks are likely to yield only modest steps like extending trade truces and maintaining limited sector cooperation. Experts say shifting geopolitical conditions have strengthened China's position, making meaningful breakthroughs unlikely. And so, if I'm to be honest on what I think is going to happen, I think nothing is going to happen. Now, it's pretty cool that it's happening. And, like, this is cool. Just Jensen and Elon are on Air Force One. It's like a great meeting of minds. It's cool. It's rare, I guess, that you get to see something like this happen. And maybe we have some sort of good outcome. But most likely, it's a nothing burger. Laura Trump tweeted this, Team China, spelled with Y's. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Y's to be exact. How do you short this? That's a good question. 5 Y's. And this is, I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. Love them, hate them, have no take. Aura. Is there no sound? Bro, is that a plane? That's a plane? How big is that plane? Oh my God. Dude, how big is that plane? Holy fuck. Bro, it looks like a yacht. What do you mean it is a nuclear shielded command center? It's only the 3 most important people on the planet. Wait a second. How big is Air Force One? Like the 231 feet. It's 4,000 square feet.
It's 6 stories high. It's 76 meters in length, which is longer than any commercial jet. Weighs 378,000 kilos each, and it can fly.
What do you mean nukes bounce off of it? What are you saying? Nukes bounce off of it? You make that up?
At a
What do you mean bounce off of it?
maximum altitude of 45,100 feet. And the middle deck is where all the action happens. In the quiet forward area lies the presidential suite. This is where the presidential office is, along with a bedroom with a private shower.
Low-key a weak-ass bedroom for the president.
In addition to this,
all I'm saying is if I was president,
the president's personal quarters are marked by a star-patterned carpet on the floor.
So this is the flying Oval Office.
And possible drone attacks. modified by the military and is strong enough to function as an airborne bunker. Its defenses account for air-to-air missiles, ground-to-air missiles, and possible drone attacks. The body of the aircraft is armor-plated, and so is the glass on the windows. Each exit has its own retractable staircase to avoid sabotage once it's at the airport. Defense systems include enemy radar jammers, ejecting flares that throw off heat-seeking missiles, protection against an electromagnetic pulse.
What the fuck was that? Fava with the 200 gifted. What the fuck? Jesus, man. Thank you. Jeez, dude. That's a Chris Camillo alt? God damn. Thank you, my friend. I'm finna go buy the AP now. Oh, my watch. Perfect time, man. What's up, brother? First shot or two? That's lit. Thank you, brother. I appreciate the 200 gifted. That's fucking awesome. What are you up on?
And a whole lot of
That's lit. Shout out you, brother. Thank you so much.
other features that are obviously top secret. If you've enjoyed the video so far and want to see more of these, hit that like button and subscribe to Explained.
All right. Yeah, shout out to Fava. That was lit. Yeah, what trade did you just bank? Snowman, HS, what's up, brother? What's up, Loracle alt? Came here to fucking just flex on me. He's big on FOMO. Shout out to Fava. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get up real quick. Be back in 30 seconds. And when I come back, we're 15 minutes out from Chris Camillo. Okay, I'm back. Song just teleport me back in time. I know, what a song, right? All right. We got this fellow coming in. By the way, what's the Ford news, DNAP? Oh, is that what you just sent? That's funny if that's what you just sent. No. Cisco sees FY26 orders from hyperscalers on below. Cisco blew out the park up 18. Yeah, Ford has, look at Ford. I think it's just F, right? It's like they're like an energy play now. Yeah, look. Up 13% today. It's market cap. 54 bill. That's crazy. It's only 54 bill. Is anyone in Ford? God, this looks so bad. No, Ford's Theater. I got out today. Like, you sold or you? Ford gets a prize boost by Trump Xi meeting. That's the whole article. Ford stock surges as Morgan Stanley gets bullish on energy storage business. Surge on Wednesday today after Morgan Stanley said Ford's new energy business could be a winner for the automaker, setting significant competitive advantage in battery tech. Morgan Stanley's Andrew Percoco wrote about a note published late Thursday that Ford's $2 billion battery storage bet announced late last year, alongside a $20 billion write-down of its electronic vehicle assets, could put a dent in those big losses. It's like a KOL just tweets some bullish shit about a new stock. Percoco argued that the ESS business could be worth as much as $10 billion on its own. It's a $54 billion stock. It's up like 5 or 6 billion today. Ford stock jumped 40% in midday trade after the notes release. Morgan Stanley pegs Ford's Energy $10 billion of enterprise value at 17.5x multiple and roughly 500. Interesting. Ford. Who knew? All right. We have a bunch of topics for today. I have Intel. We have RVI. We have Baba. We have Jez's paper trade. We have crypto, and specifically this thing, which is a kind of a crazy crypto. This guy, we'll spend more time on this. This guy had 5 Bitcoin locked in his wallet for 90 years, something his old college computer in a Claude as a Hail Mary. Claude found the wallet file, debugged the password logic, decrypted the keys, converted a whiff, recovered the funds. We are so unbelievably early. Pretty fucking scary. So we have a lot of topics we're going to hit today. But before we do any of it, we have a very special stream. And we got the goat. We have my goat coming on, Chris Camillo. Why is it scary? Because none of this digital infrastructure feels that safe. I don't know. That's why it's scary. We got the big man coming on in 10 minutes. I'm excited. He's my GOAT. If you don't know who Chris Camillo is, I don't really want him. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time on his intro because I don't know how much time we have with him. And so I'll just give you an intro on him right now. Is his whole bit. Okay, he's 20K to 80 mil. I think he's up more because he cooked Bloom Energy and Amazon. His whole bit is he has a strategy called social arbitrage where he doesn't read financial reports. He doesn't care about macro interest rates, any of this. He's not trading the indexes. He only is trading, or at least historically, he's gotten into some mega caps. But historically, he's only trading social narratives. And so what he'll do is he'll spend all day reading TikTok and reading Instagram and scrolling Twitter and finding some inefficiency where there is some new really hot product that everyone is talking about that has a publicly traded company that has not moved. And he will make a big bet basically that, this product is gig outperforming. They're selling a fuck ton. They're going to crush earnings. The market is slow to this. Wall Street doesn't really understand these types of trades, and he will ape. And he's not a chart guy. He's not a levels guy. He's not a fundamental guy. His whole thing is basically when you reach sentiment parity or social parity, he exits. And so he buys when he feels like everyone now knows and is caught up to what he's been discussing, he exits. And that's the strat. And he's turned 20K into 80 mil. And he tells a story his first trade ever was he used to go around and flip antiques at garage sales. And every morning or every Friday and Saturday after the garage sales or before, whatever, he would go to 7-Eleven and buy a Snapple. And one day he went, and they used to have 2 refrigerators full of Snapple. And one day he goes to 7-Eleven and they converted one of the refrigerators to a Arizona iced tea. And he goes up to the cashier and he's like, what the fuck? What happened to Snapple? You guys don't have my favorite flavor. And they say to him, well, there's a lot of competition now. There's a lot of boutique iced teas. There's a lot of demand for this other stuff. We can't keep all of these refrigerators reserved for Snapple. And so he goes home. He's 12, 13, whatever, 14 maybe. He goes home and his brother's a stockbroker. And he tells his brother what just happened. And he asks him, is there a way that I can make money on this? And his brother, does some Googling, whatever. And he's like, well, Snapple has earnings in 2 weeks. We can buy puts. So he's like, okay. So he hands his brother $300. Earnings come back in 2 weeks. And Snapple has a huge miss. Turns 300 into a band. Bink. Trading career begins. But he tells this story about how after that moment, he did not have a winning trade for a decade because he spent the next 10 years flip-flopping on whatever trading strategy he last read about in a book. And so he tried to do technical analysis, and then he tried to do fundamental analysis, and he tried to do every trading strategy that everybody else does and try to replicate what everybody else has already been doing without any success. And he stopped trading. And And eventually he came back to it. He stopped trading. He didn't like understand why he made money on what he just did, right? That he had some sort of like social edge. Stops trading, gets a job as like a market researcher, but he's not trading. And he like opens his portfolio again. This time as like a grown man, 30, whatever, with like actual bread. And basically just skyrockets. But there's this segment he talks about in the book. And it reminds me of the Sidney Sweeney American Eagle trade, where he was watching, I think it was 2010. Michelle Obama was the first lady in the White House. And she goes on Jay Leno morning talk show. And she's wearing this neon yellow dress. And it's from J. Crew, I think. And it becomes this like icon. Next thing, next week she's in Vogue. Everyone loves J. Crew. J. Crew gets this like massive explosion of sales. Everyone loves J. Crew. And he's watching Jay Leno that night. And he doesn't trade it. And it goes on to do like a 2-3x that year. And he was so distraught that he missed it. Also, Luke, he's in the waiting room. I'm going to let him in right now. Give me confirmation. He was so distraught that he missed this trade that he bought the dress. And he claims the dress is sitting in his closet right now. And he looks at it every morning just to make sure the next time a situation like this arises, he doesn't fucking miss it. So that's Chris Camillo. Luke, I'm going to get up. Tell me when he's ready. When he's ready, I'm going to be ready. I'm going to get up and back in 30 seconds. I'm going to put him in the waiting room. No music. I'm admitting him right now. When we come back, Chris Camillo, one of the best retail traders of all time, coming on stream. You should be hyped. You should be hyped. Last thing I'm going to tell you real quick is when Iran war was happening, he kept tweeting, what war? Fuck you. Bought more Bloom, bought more Amazon. What war? Fuck you. Bought more Bloom, bought more Amazon. What war? Bought more Bloom, bought more Amazon. So he's the GOAT. I'll be back in a minute. BRB. Luke, let me know when you're good. All right, he's ready. All right, chat, y'all ready? Chris Camillo. Boom, boom. Let me switch this. And yo, Mr. Chris.
What's up?
Welcome to the stream, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's a good day.
It's a great day, man. I'm happy you could make it. Look, I want to start. I want to give you a quick intro. Everyone's always asking you for intros. I want to give you a quick one. Quick lore on me is I've always been like an internet hustler kid, right? And so In high school, I'm like a sneaker reseller. Near the end of my high school, I graduated in 2020, move on to sports cards in the beginning of COVID, found NFTs, which I know you had a little NFT stint at one point. NFTs sort of age out, move over to crypto. Then we're trading crypto on chain. And in 2025, the fall of 2025, crypto has a really rough year. 1010 happens, volume, liquidity, open interest sort of falls off a cliff. And I realized more than anything, I want to trade volatility. And so in October of last year, I started talking about stocks. And for the first time, I'm posting these, clips are coming out from my stream. And I'm saying like, man, I just feel like crypto traders can do well in the stock market. And that a lot of, not all of, our skills, narrative, attention, momentum, memetics, port over. And so I post this clip. And at the time, I'm reading Unknown Market Wizards. And I think I'm on the Peter Brandt chapter, which is funny. It's like the antithesis of how you trade. And you quote tweet me and basically say something along the lines of, I've been saying this forever. It's about time they catch on. And I click on it and I'm like, who is Chris Camillo? I click on your Twitter profile and I see your banner is Unknown Market Wizards. And I'm like, no way. I have the book in front of me. And so I skip ahead, a couple chapters and I get to your section at the same time I'm trying to convince myself I can win in stocks. Like it wasn't lucky in crypto. And I read your chapter and I mean, it starts with the Snapple story. It gets to the Michelle Obama and then it just ticker tags the whole thing. And I honestly could not believe what I was reading. Like I felt like it was meant to be at the time. It's an unbelievable chapter. And yeah, man, I'm excited to have you on. When did you record that interview?
Oh man, that was years ago. I don't know, maybe like 8, 9 months before that book came out. So like, I don't know, 21 or something like that. Um, Dude, well, imagine this. Imagine you're who you are, but you're my age, and you were doing all that stuff, but the crypto didn't exist. And none of that stuff existed. The only thing that existed was equity markets. Imagine you're the only guy in the world that is taking that approach. And you're like, this is insane. There's literally, I'm not talking about not having 50 million other people like you have in crypto trading, not one other. That was my life, right? That was my life in, decades ago, dude. And I've been just waiting and waiting and waiting for other people to catch on. And then the moment that people finally catch on to my methodology, it's not with equities. It's with this new thing, crypto. I'm like, dude, there's no effing way. There's no effing way that I've been waiting my whole life to have people think like me, trade like me, like, and they're not doing it with stocks. They're doing it with this new thing, crypto. It was like insane. And on one hand, it was super frustrating because it sucks to be a lone wolf forever. Like you want to have a community, right? You want to be able to relate. Like, dude, I've been like, an investor. So like I go to investing events and conferences and there's technical traders, there's fun. Dude, I'm just like an alien, dude. Like I don't relate to anyone. I don't give a crap about anything that anybody else is doing in the investing world. Like it could be as foreign to me as like anything you could imagine. And so I've had like no friends in my world, right? Like I had no one to relate to. And then all you guys step in and you're doing this crypto stuff. And I'm like, okay, it sucked for me because I was like, dude, what the hell are they doing? But then on the flip side, I'm like, dude, if all of these effers got involved with equity trading, my edge would like go down meaningfully because these kids are young, they're sharp, they're using algos, like everything that I'm doing, they're doing, but they are relentless. They're doing it the way I did it a long time ago, where I just didn't sleep. And I'm like, I don't know that I need millions to tens of millions of those kids competing with me as, attention arbitrators, social arbitrators, whatever you want to call it in the equity market. Because my competition in the equity market is freaking nothing. Nothing. And people are like, how did you generate 70% returns for 18 years? Well, I mean, the new audit's not out yet. It will be soon. I'm waiting on Jack to give it to me. I think it's going to be roughly 70% on 18 years. And I'm like, you don't understand how weak the competition is in equity markets. You don't understand how slow hedge funds are. You really, really don't understand how much of a herd mentality is in this space that I've been working in. Yeah, they're smart technically. Yes, they have access to tens of billions of dollars in infinite resources technically, but none of that matters. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And so, I just started talking about this recently about these crypto traders coming into my space because I knew it was inevitable, and it actually is starting. And I'm more happy about it than mad because truthfully, like, my life obsession is to like fully democratize the investing landscape, have every human on earth enter, the investor class, and having them be successful and having them truly understand and believe that they could be great at this. Because like no one fucking believes me, dude. Like every person is like, oh, the game is rigged, it's rigged against us. I'm like, dude, it's rigged for us, dude. If you're a if you're a normal human that like doesn't have to report to a conventional office on Wall Street every day with a bunch of suits and protect your job and like go by conventional research methodologies, if you're just normal and connected culturally to the world and can do whatever the hell you want, this market is rigged for you, not against you. And like nobody ever believes me when I say that.
So I want to ask you about this because you are so adamant, outspoken, and open that you want everybody to participate in these markets. I historically have gone around in my life not lying to people, but avoiding the discussion of what do I buy, what do I trade? Because there was a time where I wasn't doing that. And I'm like, you buy this, you should trade this, you should buy this. I convinced my dad to buy NBA Top Shots, and my friend to buy Solana. And every time it either ends in a disaster where they lose money or they make money and think it's because that they're a genius. And I have like found the easier path of least resistance here is to just not talk about it. And you are as far on the other end of the spectrum as possible with trying to get people to trade. Like, why is that?
So when I first created my company Ticker Tags, which was the first social data intelligence company for hedge funds and banks, I wanted to prove that my methodology could be institutional. Like that was like my high ground. Like that was like, dude, if I can get the biggest funds in the world paying me money for this sort of intelligence, how cool would that be? I was always like an outsider. I was always on the outside of Wall Street. And I always wondered what it would be like to see, to get deep in the inside of like Wall Street. And I did. I got as deep as one could go. I worked with the biggest funds in the world at the top levels of those funds, educating them on conversational data sets and how to look at them, how to interpret them. Ultimately, they're so lazy and intimidated by that. Like most of them still to this day don't know what the hell they're doing in this space. But when I was making the rounds with these funds, which is a pretty cool damn experience for me at the time. This is like mid 2000 teens. One guy sat me down and he's like, listen, like what you're doing is incredible. Your track record, your approach, your methodology. He goes, but no one in this industry is going to respect it. He goes, what you need to do is as hard as it seems, as intimidating as it seems, because you never want to be called out for being wrong. You just have to be outspoken about what you believe and what you're seeing in the market. Like you got to call your shots out loud. And every time you take a meeting, you go, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm doing. And people are going to see it work more than they're going to see it not work. And over time, you're going to earn the respect of other investors and institutional Wall Street. And so since that day, I've been very outspoken, not in terms of like, you need to invest in this, but this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm doing, knowing that I could just fall flat on my face because that trade might, and it doesn't always work,
Yeah,
right?
of
It
course.
never always works. But truthfully, like, I this is kind of insane, but like over 18 years, I don't know, there's been 70 to 80 high conviction trades that I've made over 18 years. And I think less than 10 of them have been wrong. So like, you know, that seems insane. I know it seems
Yeah.
insane. But like I've been very outspoken with all of those 70 to 80 trades. So like if one were to go back throughout all of Twitter and all of YouTube and everything I've ever done, you would find the 70 to 80. And like a person could document all of them, the book, everything I've ever talked about, like before the trades happened. And it's kind of nuts, man. Like the guy was right. Like eventually, if you're willing to just be open and be like, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it. There's always going to be a weird thing that might creep up that you missed. The trade didn't work. The macro environment crashed right in front of you, so the trade didn't even matter. Like there are a lot of ways for a trade to go bad, but damn, so many of them have went so freaking well. And it's like, you know, even the most recent one. I mean, Amazon at 197, and every single person was shitting on Amazon. Every
were.
big institutional investor, every
were.
retail investor,
They were.
all of X
They
was
were.
like, dude, this
They
200
were.
billion that they're spending is insane. Like, I'm like, I was like, you know what? I came out, I was like, dude, and Amazon was hurting. I was like, I am doubling, tripling, quintupling down. I did the same thing
I
with
saw
Bloom
it.
Energy.
Yes,
Bloom
you
Energy
did.
shit the bed. It was down to 80. Bloom Energy came down to 70s. I think it came down to $77. I'm doubling down. I don't care. The reason why it's down makes no sense to me. Therefore, I'm doubling down. Now it's at 295, like a few months later, right? So it's like, it's so hard. People don't understand how fucking hard it is when nobody believes. And it seems like that's the dumbest move in the world to say, I so believe in this. I'm tripling down. Like Palantir in the 30s, there were guys coming out to like, dude, you're getting into Palantir now, dude? Are you kidding me? This move is so over. So over. Robinhood at 27. You know, it's just like, and here we are again. Robinhood's down to 70s again. You know, like I'm doubling down in Robinhood. I'm still doubling down in Amazon, right? Um, it's hard, man. You know, but by the way, it's hard for me in equities. It's not hard for you guys in crypto because you guys are used to having the world against you. You're
Yes,
used
yes,
to
yes.
having outlandish, you know, opinions that are uncorrelated that no one believes in, and you guys are fucking nuts just like me. So it's like the thought of you guys coming into my world is both invigorating and exciting. Meanwhile, I know what's going to happen. Like the edge is going to slowly, if you guys really do this, which I know you will, I know you will. You're already starting. Over the next 5 years, the edge is going to come down with what I do. But I'm at the tail end of my career, man. Like I want 2 more years of big returns. I want to hit the 20-year return mark,
Okay.
and I'm getting involved in it. Dude, I've been grinding since I was 12 years old. Okay, like I'm not young. I made all the money I want to make times 10. There's nothing I want to buy. Like I just want to help people. I love, you know, I don't sell anything. Like
Yeah.
I just want to, I just want people to get in the market, learn how to invest for themselves, not be afraid of Wall Street or intimidated by Wall Street. So the timing could not be better. I'm so pumped to have more of you guys getting into equities.
Okay, let me ask you about a specific trade, and then we'll come to an old trade, which you talked about in the Market Wizards interview, but I haven't seen you talk about it on a bunch of YouTube videos. The connection is the Sydney Sweeney American Eagle moment that happened in 2025, where she does all the ads for American Eagle. It rips like 75, 100%. I didn't trade it, but that was the moment where I realized, like, okay, I think I could do this well. And you wrote about, it was freshly in my head. It had just happened. And then you wrote about this Michelle Obama dress on Jay Leno in 2010 or something like this. That I looked it up. We showed it on the stream, the yellow dress. You're watching it. You weren't paying attention. It was J. Crew. J. Crew goes on this like crazy run. And you're telling Jack, you're like, I bought the fucking dress. It's in my closet. Like,
Yeah.
do you actually have the dress and what?
I
Yeah.
got it, man.
You actually
I
have
got it
it?
in my closet right now. It's in my closet right now. I bought it on eBay, God, forever ago, to remind me that there's always a social arb trade that you're missing out in the world. Dude, that I think it was, I don't know, People, Us Weekly, one of those magazines on my coffee table. Dude, she was in that dress on everything. And it was right in front of my face. And it's like, how often does the first lady, wear something like J. Crew, right? And everything just made sense because at the time, it was so hard for a company like J. Crew to break into a brand new demographic of like Black Americans, like that really hard nut to crack. Michelle Obama at the time was like as big as it gets. And so she, instead of going out and wearing some $10,000 dress, she's wearing this thing from J. Crew. And it was just like a moment for the company. And the fact that I missed that as, I was the only, this is my pride, was being a guy that caught on to those things. That's all I did. Just shows you how many opportunities there are. By the way, there have never been more social arb opportunities than like right now. I've never seen anything like this in my career. Like, I can't keep up with them. I am missing them left and right. Like, I missed a monster one on coconut water
Yeah, that
a
was
few
the good
weeks
one.
ago.
That was a good one.
Dude, I mean, for me to miss that, because like my forte is like, I never miss a shoe trade. Like, I can't even tell you how many shoe trades I've made over the past 15 years. Every single time like the shoe market shifts, like I nail the trade almost every time, from Uggs to Crocs, like just all of them. Vans back in the day, with the white Vans that sold at went viral on
Damn
TikTok.
Daniel.
Damn Daniel, that's right.
Oh, that was a trade?
Oh, hell
Was that
yeah, that was a
2010
trade.
maybe?
Damn Daniel. Dude,
No
that set
way.
Vans on fire.
No
On fire.
way.
So by the way, people don't really understand how this works. It's not that like they can only sell so many pairs of white Vans. The bottom line was the damn Daniel viral TikTok ultimately brought more eyeballs to Vans, got people thinking about Vans. Maybe they're in the mall, Vans is on their mind, they stop in, they check out the white Vans, maybe they get something else, they get a t-shirt, whatever. It doesn't take much to move the needle of a company like that.
How big of a trade was that for you? Like, do you see this and it just goes off, the spidey senses start tingling?
Yeah, so the way that I measure my trades is like the conviction level, right? So low, medium, high conviction. If a trade is like high conviction or ultra high conviction, and nobody believes this. I had a video that came out recently, a video clip that everyone was ripping on, because I talked about this QSR trade with Burger King and Popeyes and Tim Hortons.
So good.
And how I lost 1/3 of my liquid net worth in an hour. And people are like, dude, as if the guy put 1/3 of his liquid net worth in stock options that went to zero after. Yeah, I did, dude. I did. Okay, I lost 1/3. And by the way, a crypto trader wouldn't even blink their eye at that.
I'm leveraged to tits right now. Yeah.
Right? You know it. Like, but nobody does that in equities. I've been doing that forever. Yeah, high conviction trade. Listen, I'm a family guy today. Like, I really try to be more prudent in what I do. So I generally don't put 1/3 of my whole portfolio in options. Although it did happen again recently, and it worked in my favor with Amazon. So it does happen still. But yeah, I might put 5 to 15% of my portfolio in a trade like that. And usually, I try to make 6 to 7 figures on a trade if it hits, if it's medium to high conviction. And it's mostly options.
Speaking of Amazon, this is such a sidebar, but you did an interview. I think it was a Graham Stephan interview, and you're telling this. I played this on stream. The stream was dying. You're the most requested guest ever after this clip. You're talking about how you were at like a horse race or a flag football game or something with your friend's daughter. She's like 10, and she's like, Chris, I have $500. Like, I saved up. What should I buy? And you're like, okay, take this 500, get 2x margin, borrow against it, get $1,000, and put all of it into Amazon. Did she do it?
That's right. It was at a tennis tournament here in Dallas.
Did she do
I
it?
had just met this guy and his daughter. She was 11. He's like, she's got $500. She's thinking about opening up a brokerage account, investing 50 of it prudently. Can you help her out? I look at her in the face. I go, forget about that plan. You take that 500. You tell your dad to borrow another 500 on margin. Okay. You take the $1,000, you put all of it in Amazon, all of it. There's at least a 50% shot you're going to 4x that money because Amazon's probably going to 2x over the next few years. You're going to 4x your money. You're going to have $2,000, 50-50 shot that happens. Like 1 or 2% chance that this goes really bad and you lose it all, but you're 11 years old. Why do you care? It's $500. Do you want to make 2,000? She just thought I was insane. I think her dad thought I was insane. I actually don't know if they did it or not. I'm going to find out. But dude, the trade would be looking good so far. She'd already be up. Dude, she would already be up to like, I don't know, Amazon's up 50. She already doubled her money almost. That was like a couple months ago. So I mean, and by the way, when they left, I said, listen, the trade goes totally bad. I'll pay you $500. I will give it back to you. Cause I was starting to feel like I shouldn't be saying this stuff to 11-year-old.
She's like 7, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I told her, I was like, I'll give you the 500 as long as I'm not broke. And honestly, if you lose all 500, I might be so broke, I might not be able to give it to you. I do love that story. It was true.
That was a good one. I'm reading this book right now. You mentioned hedge funds a little while back, and I'm kind of obsessed with the hedge funds right now. It's called More Money Than God, and it's like the fund of the decade every 10 years. So it has like Soros and Druckenmiller and Tiger and Paul Tudor Jones, and like it goes through it. And I'm like, I'm kind of obsessed with the hedge fund thing right now. And I think you've talked about it a couple times publicly, how you ran money for like a week and were like, fuck this shit, and you returned it. And then secondly, you are so vocal right now about how, I don't know, just like dumb you think these funds are specifically right now in this market and how much edge there is. Like, where does that edge lie? And like, what are they good at and what are they not good at? And what is your general just like feeling of that scene?
Yeah, I'm more comfortable like talking the truth about hedge funds because most of my buddies in the space have since left the space, so I don't feel as bad. Listen, by the way, I actually love guys that work at hedge funds. A lot of them are still my close friends. They're on it's their careers, their job, man. It's not the people, it's the institution. It handcuffs you. It's wild to me. And by the way, there's no way that it used to be like this because when I talk to people and I find out how the best funds were actually operating like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, dude, they were so scrappy.
Dude, they're
like
so
Cohen's,
cool. So cool.
Cohen's supply chain, traveling Asia, getting the scoop inside. Back then, inside trading was basically legal, so they were all doing it in like the scrappiest ways ever. Like that was when you wanted to be in that business, when it was like, where can you find the alpha? You just go for, like when you watch a show Billions, it used to be more like that. But you know what happened like 10 years ago? The SEC came down hard. Now they're really strict about what information is public, what's private, what you can trade, what you can't trade. You got to document everything at a hedge fund, okay? You can't do anything shady and get away with these days. And people that work there, it's just a job, man. They don't really care. You know how you make money? You make money by not doing anything dumb. That's the number one takeaway from Wall Street. You have a career and you make money by looking really like smart and trustworthy and helping the fund raise a lot of capital and not doing anything stupid, right? Like you don't take like at bats for home runs in that industry. You just don't do it. And if the primary source of alpha, which I know it is like trying to make sense of what people are saying in comments on TikTok videos, you can't put that in your notes, man. Like you can't say that you lost, this portfolio because you misinterpreted what a bunch of, 25-year-old women were saying in comment data on TikTok. That's not cool. That's not going to go over well with your 55-year-old, boomer boss, right? Like you can't do that. So they're crippled because they can't adopt. to the new way of trading because it just seems insane to like the boomer bosses that are still in control of a lot of these funds. So there's nothing behind the curtain. I promise you. They're really good. There's a lot of funds that are actually really good at algorithmic type of stuff, like, making pennies on all the stuff. And like they do that incessantly. And that's just something that is foreign to me. I have no interest in it. Renaissance Capital, there are still funds that are killer when it comes to figuring out how to institutionally make money no matter what, but by like, getting between the
With
margins.
the Jane Street
But
stuff.
yeah, but in terms of like finding real alpha, being really scrappy, knowing where to look, and just using your gut to put on big leverage trades on the information you find quickly, dude, they're not good at doing that. I mean, there are fast trading shops on Wall Street where you have pods where there are small teams that have, full autonomy to do whatever the hell they want with the money they manage. And some of those teams, because I've been working with some of those teams, I did that at Ticker Tags. Some of those teams are savvy enough that they're willing to do that, and they're kind of getting into this style of trading. But more so than not, no. In fact, I won't name the fund because I have so much respect for the guy that is over the fund. He's like one of my idols, and I actually got to meet him recently and talk shop with him, which is the coolest thing in the world. But I did get invited when I was running Ticker Tags to go up to his fund and present to the entire, like all the teams.
Whoa.
After working with his data group for 6 months and having them vet my data for 6 months, I show up, sit in the coolest conference room in the coolest office I've ever been to in that industry. Not one pod showed up, not one. And the data guys were just in the room going, dude, we're so sorry. Like we've been telling everyone how well your data is working and like they need to learn this stuff. And at that moment, I was like, F you, F you. Like I'm so out like of trying to like, teach these guys that this is the way to think, this is the way to trade. And Ticker Tags was hell for me. I kept it for years. I sold it to Jefferies Bank. Jefferies institutionalized it, used a lot of pieces of it. They poured money into it. But ultimately, I walked away from that experience 5 years, like working with the biggest guys on Wall Street, going, dude, they have nothing on us. They have nothing on us. They are so crippled. They are so handcuffed. They are so lazy. They're so trying to just protect their job and not willing to put themselves out there. And if every retail trader really saw what I got to see up close, they would have so much more confidence in themselves. Because some of the things that we are worst at is when we see everything clearly, we're like, we doubt ourselves. Because like, there's no way that I am seeing this as just whomever in my bedroom, right? And yet, XYZ fund that's managing 5 to 50 billion or 100 billion, that they don't see this. I must be missing something. I must be missing something. But you're not most of the time.
No, you're not.
And like, if you were like, do you see the moves on earnings? You see the moves. Like, they're not seeing this stuff. The only thing that they can see is transactional credit card data. That's it. Like that is their primary, and it has been for 10 years. That's their data source. And by the way, that data source is not that great. It's good. It's good. It's not nearly as good as what I do. I buy that data. I spend 6 figures a year buying that data just for myself, just so I can see if the things that I'm seeing in conversational data sets is reflected in the data that hedge funds are paying for. Okay. So, like, that seems insane, right? Like, I just want to know if the thing that I'm seeing in a TikTok comment stream, right? If that's showing up yet. So I'll give you the perfect example. Right now, shit, I want to talk about this on my show actually, but like like I'm looking at fuck it, let's just talk about it. Right now I'm looking at the sweet green wrap. Okay? So it's not really a trade yet. Sweet Green came out with a wrap like 8 days ago,
Okay.
and it has potential to make their product portable for the first time, right? Meaning like you could like hold it in your hand, take it with you, as opposed to being like salads. Salads are portable, but not as portable as like a wrap. So what that means is there's potential for a mega social arb trade. So you have to have a prepared mind as a social arb trader. You have to know when something's about to happen that could be explosive, and you have to watch it every day, and you have to know what you're looking for. So the first wave of conversational data is paid influencers. So like almost everyone that's been talking about this has been a paid influencer, and that's cool. Sometimes you could have a viral moment just from paid influencers if they do a good enough job of convincing the world to go buy this stuff, right? So what you're really looking for is the authenticity in what they're saying, and whether it starts to translate outside of paid to actual consumers that take it viral. Now, it might take me a few weeks to figure this out, and I'm on like the ledge right now. Like the reviews have been good, really good. It has potential to be a real game changer for Sweet Green, but I haven't seen enough yet to make that determination. But again, now that you got to be on it, right? So like now, like you got to, like, I am reading every review on TikTok every day of Sweet Green wraps. I'm reading every comment. I'm speaking to clerks. I'm going into Sweet Green. I'm having combos. I'm talking to customers. And I'm doing this for a lot of different things. Sweet Green is just one of them. And like, you have to understand, as a social arb trader, you can't like become biased. You might want that trade to work, but you can't just convince yourself that it's a game changer, because that's when you get into trouble. Um, for every 100 starts, you might get lucky and get one or two that fall at the bottom of the funnel where everything is aligned, right? Like, dude, game changer moment for the company. Other traders don't believe it or haven't seen it yet. Nothing else is happening with this company that's more meaningful than this one thing that I'm trading. Well, in this case, it would be the wrap, right? So there's a lot that has to happen
Yes.
for you to like get to the bottom of the funnel and actually trade in a big way.
How many physical locations have you been to so far to talk
So
about the wrap?
I've only been to one.
Okay.
Okay. So like so far, but I've
And what do you
started to
do when you
share.
get in there?
What?
What do you
Oh,
do when you
dude,
walk in?
very casual. Just keep. By the way, if you act like you're like,
Yeah, for sure.
like no one's gonna talk to you. Just get in there, order it, talk to the people on the line, ask for the manager, be like, hey, dude, like is this thing? Is this moving the needle for you? Like, what's going on here? Like, like you just gotta be as casual as you
Yeah.
possibly. Go in there dressed like an idiot. Don't go in there in a suit or not. Like they don't want to like give any
Of
information
course.
away.
Yeah.
And just have fun with it. But I started sharing this one with a few people in my community, so we're all kind of doing it now. And we're kind of, listen, what I love about being an attention arb, social arb trader, is that's a community. And I never had a community before,
Yes.
ever. Like I said, I've been a lone wolf for decades. No one cared. People thought I was freaking insane with the stuff that I do. I had to always do this stuff alone. Back in the day, I used to like put a comment on a Yahoo message board and wait 10 hours for one other comment to pop up. I joked to Howard Lindzen about this. The guy started StockTwits. Like, he was the same way. Like, we both lived through that world. So like, I love that as social arb traders, like, we can work together. Like, I'm like, hey, I have an idea, I have a thesis, here's what it is. And then like everyone does their own homework. Everyone's looking at different data sets. Everyone's going around interviewing clerks. I mean, we did this during the pandemic. I had a guy in my community get in his little propeller plane and fly to a Peloton warehouse and like walk up the ramp to where they were packaging the Pelotons for the trucks and just hang out and start talking to the guys about deliveries and how
Holy
whether they had enough
fuck.
inventory and like, dude. And then he took video of it and uploaded it to the Discord. Like, you're a maniac, dude. But like, that's what it's about,
That's what it
dude.
takes.
This is what hedge funds do. Okay. And I joked in my book, Laughing at Wall Street. That's like 16 years old now. I was like, my dream is that to create a community that we would be infinitely larger than any hedge fund. Like, whatever a hedge fund thinks they have in terms of resources and people power and like diversity of opinion and research, like, we will be 1,000x that big. How cool would it be to have a community that's that much more intellectually diverse, that is working that much harder, and that any research we need to do, we're doing it instantaneously. Like, we have more people on the street, and that's what has started to happen out of the dumb money community that we've been kind of just messing around with the last 8 years. And listen, now you crypto guys are coming in, so it's even potentially will get a lot bigger.
I was cracking up about you wrote the book at like $2 million P&L. I was like, I should write a fucking book. I was watching some of your old interviews from like 16 years ago. It's classic.
Wait, hold on. Here's the thing. You got to understand. You guys don't get this now. You crypto guys, you just don't get it. To do that from 2007 to 2010, nobody invested with concentration. Nobody invested with leverage. Crypto wasn't a thing. Like, it was fucking nuts, dude. To 100x your money in 3 years was psychotic behavior back in 2007, okay, 2010. Like, the market moves so slow. Investors were like turtles back then, okay? You guys didn't enter this space forever. And so now you guys, the whole concept of YOLO and like all this shit, dude, psychotic behavior. Like, I was the only psychopath back in the mid 2000s to late 2000s. Like, I was the only one. Now, there's 50 million of you guys. You know what's so crazy? Even today, I think you can check this.
Okay.
I think there's something like 30 to 50-ish million active crypto traders. I don't know if that's remotely. Do you think that's remotely right?
I don't know about active right now. At one point, definitely. I think it's a lot smaller at the moment, but I think at one point, yes.
There are barely that many active equity traders.
Really?
So, dude, very active? Absolutely. Barely. I know that for a fact. So, like, the majority of equity traders are still fundamental or technical, but even the technical crowd, there's not tens of millions of technical traders that are just all day long doing that stuff. And honestly, most of the active traders are those technical guys. So the number of people that chase narrative in 2026 it's still like that big. It hasn't, like, we haven't had our moment yet. It's still in front of us, and I think it's going to probably take you guys jumping ship and coming over.
So give me a take on this. Like, the first time I ever traded a stock option was maybe 2019, and I basically just wiped a couple accounts and then got started with NFTs and crypto. So this style of trading is pretty much all I know, and really as a post-COVID phenomena is really all that I know. Like, how much has evolved pre-COVID to post-COVID in the way you look at markets, think about markets, observe activity in markets?
So I think the key thing that has changed is that all of the world's communications have become digitized.
Yeah.
Okay. That one thing is all that matters, because if you're trading attention, you have to have the ability to surface shifts in attention. And if you think about what I used to do back in the day, I would have to actually go talk to people and go to the mall and have real conversations, even on Facebook. As crazy as that sounds, like, Facebook was a social grid. So you didn't have access to things that existed outside of your own social grid. Instagram was a social grid. Now it's an information map. Okay, so social channels have become information maps. They're open. They're not contained to the people that you know and follow. So you could actually see in real time everything that everyone in the world is speaking about as they're speaking about it in real time. That is sick alpha. Like, it's almost too much alpha. So really, it's just a matter of like, where do you start? How do you go about doing this to make the most of your time? And over the next few years, I know what's going to happen. Like, AI is going to take over this space because there's just too much information flying too quickly. You need the assistance of agentic AI to help you assess what the world is talking about and how that is connected to investable opportunities in the market.
So something you talk about a lot is, turning conversational data about people talking about products into trades. But something that's just crypto is familiar with, and it is happening a lot in the stock market right now, is conversational data of people talking about tickers. And sort of like a mimetic meme. Like there's this, Serenity account right now is going crazy. There's the Citrini picks. Like there's a lot of like people talking about stock names or coins and bringing this like momentum behind it. Is there like, how do you think about that? Is there value in that?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely value in that. But here's the thing. Um, the reaction time is so compressed with those moves that, yeah, you can make an absolute killing if you're quick. And I do understand how crypto traders naturally would be oriented towards alpha that is concrete, dependable, correlated alpha that is likely to actually work. The type of attention that I'm trying to read is it has more nuance to it,
Got it.
meaning that there's a larger window of reaction time, and there's a bigger opportunity to actually find that information and make a trade because it's interpretable and it kind of like happens over time. Where ticker data
This is
is
a good
like, yeah,
take.
if,
I like
if
this.
if everyone's talking about a ticker,
It's
like
just
you boom, if you were
so
on
fast.
you might have minutes to maybe hours, minutes to hours,
Yeah.
where the type of attention arb that I trade is usually days to weeks and sometimes months. It just, I prefer it because I'm not a guy that likes to be tuned in. Like, I like having a life. Like,
Yes.
I don't want to trade all day. I'm not a day trader. Like, I'm not glued to a screen. Listen, dude, 20 years ago, maybe
Yeah.
I might have loved it. Not anymore, man. Like, I love life, dude. I hang out with people all day long. Like, I like to do my work late night when I'm just alone and I have chill time to, do my research. So it doesn't fit with my lifestyle, but I get how it would fit with a crypto trader's lifestyle.
Got it.
So, but don't stop there is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that's a viable like way to trade, but you shouldn't stop at ticker because you're leaving 95% of the opportunity on the floor.
So speaking of these longer horizon thinking, I mean, look, we were trading oil on the stream because we wanted some volatility, and for the first time in my life, I'm monitoring geopolitics, which I realize is a lot harder than I imagined. I'm not sure what I imagined, but it was difficult to do, and I got pretty one-shot black pill, like doomer pilled from this whole situation, along with most of FinTwit. And I'm watching as Trump is, threatening to drop a nuke on Karg Island in Iran, and I'm doom posting, and you're on Twitter, and you're basically like, what? There's a war, bought more Amazon. What? There's a war, bought more Bloom Energy. You go on Graham Stephan. What? Bought more Bloom Energy, bought more Amazon. You just keep, I'm like, man, I thought Chris Camillo was smart. Like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, this is supposed to be my guy. What is this? And then boom, rips it back, by the FUD, by the fear, whatever, all-time highs on both. And so from this framework that you trade off of, how, like, to as well as you could articulate, how are you able to develop such deep conviction in Amazon where you're not just watching the chart, you're not watching it lose structure, you're not buying into a potential like World War III type of outcome?
Well, probabilities and outcomes, that's all that matters, right? So is there a probability that we could have gone down that path of World War III and bombing Iran? Yeah, I was aware of it. I assessed the probability of it, and then I looked at the probability of that not happening and what would happen, and I looked at the outcome of both, and I thought the trade was much better on the side that it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So like, yeah, could it have happened? Yeah. Let's call it 5% realistically. Yeah. It was somewhere
Max.
between, 1 and 5 max. Right. So I'm looking at a 95% probability of it not happening for very obvious reasons. I mean, come on, like the incentives. I kept telling people over and over again, look at the incentives. You always follow the incentives. Forget about what people say. Look at what the incentives are. The incentives are he can't have it. He just can't have it. Okay. So is there some possibility that Trump would lose his mind and get so emotional that he literally doesn't care about politics anymore and he just says do it? And yeah, that could have
Yeah, it's
happened.
possible.
1 to 5%.
1 to
Okay.
5%.
So I think that's a reasonable probability.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm looking at the flip side, 95%. It doesn't materialize, and we're going to see the market normalize, and then my trades are going to hit. Okay, and it was a very obvious trade to me. I think one of the biggest traps for investors is noise. All of institutional Wall Street gets trapped with noise. Why? Because they have to take the Long Island Railroad into the city every day with other suits, and then they go to the office and they're with the same rich
Same people,
dudes
yeah.
watching the same CNBC, and they all get caught up in this whirlwind of B. I've seen it, man. I spent years deep in the trenches, like with these guys, hanging with them, going to drinks with them at night and dinners and all this stuff. They all think the same because they all hang out with each other all the time, and they read the same paper, the same news, they watch the CNBC's going on in their office. I mean, if you wonder who the 80,000 people that watch CNBC are, it's like 50,000 of the 80,000 are TVs and finance offices, right? Like that's what it is. That I think it's like 80,000 people watch CNBC or something.
That's
Like
nuts.
80,000. It's embarrassing, right?
That's insane.
But I don't know the exact number,
Yeah.
but like it's embarrassingly low. I'll just tell you that. And I think like roughly half of the people that are watching like broadcast finance news are working in a finance company, right? And so they're part of that like echo chamber,
Yes.
dude.
And it's
And it's
just
like you got, as a retail trader, you got to get the hell out. It's insane for you to be a retail trader following mainstream news, because like why would you do that to yourself, dude? Like I think the biggest alpha, the biggest magic you can have is just to figure out how to break out of the matrix and just think independently for yourself. There's not a lot of that happening, even with retail traders. And I think that's the biggest opportunity for just anyone trying to win at this game, is to like believe in yourself and just get the hell out of that echo chamber.
beautiful take. It's something unique about your Amazon and Bloom trade, at least from my eyes, is that it's a little bit different from your typical like J. Crew or Sweet Green or Vans, like social arbitrage, where at least how I've imagined a lot of your trades, it's like these sort of smaller companies, a specific product goes really viral on TikTok or on Instagram or on Twitter, and you find edge, you capture that spread, you make a lot of money. Amazon is not one specific, product that's going super viral, or like Blue Men. Like these are just like much bigger trades on a longer time horizon, part of a much bigger mega trend. And so how do you apply your strategy to these bigger like mega trend type of major caps in trades?
The biggest misconception in social arb trading is that it only works with small companies. Most of my trades have been big companies.
Nice.
Most of them since day one. I wrote an entire chapter in my book about the Apple iPhone 1 when it first came out and how Apple was one of the biggest trades of my career. There was no stock more covered in the world than Apple, and yet there was no stock that Wall Street got more wrong than Apple. Every analyst, every tech reporter, every big multi-billion dollar hedge fund guy all thought that they knew what was going to happen and that the iPhone was going to fail. It didn't have a keyboard. They didn't have access to a good network. Apple knows nothing about telecommunications. We've seen this story before, blah, 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 right? Like, and everybody jumped on that bandwagon. And I was just like, I held it in my hand, man. I held that iPhone 1 in my hand at my pool party on the top of my condo. And I will never forget that moment we passed that phone around and people were like, dude, this is insane. This is actually insane. I looked at that screen and I played around with it for like 2 minutes. I was like, this is going to be the biggest trade of my life. And what made it even better was that that damn data network they were on, AT&T in Manhattan, didn't work through buildings at the time. So even if you wanted to get an iPhone, you really couldn't if you lived in Manhattan or worked in Manhattan. So most of the people that worked on Wall Street had very limited insight into friends, family, coworkers that had an iPhone, that used an iPhone. So they were kind of oblivious to the magic that was happening. And like, so it was just like this perfect storm of bias and like skewed information. But that was the biggest company ever, man. Like Amazon, I traded Amazon. Amazon was one of my biggest trades before at the birth of AWS. When like I was deep into the software sector, like I was a sales guy.
Okay.
Like my friends were selling, like working at technology companies, and we were studying essentially Reddit forums with technologists and monitoring every day the lift in the volume of communication around cloud computing as a word. Literally, we were just measuring how many times the word cloud computing was popping up in technology Reddit forums. And like every day, it was accelerating. I was like, dude, what is happening? And it was very clear to us that essentially every major company in the world was assessing moving to cloud computing and that Amazon was going to be the primary beneficiary of that. And before investors picked up on it, we knew it because we were looking at what people were speaking about. And before anybody does anything, they speak about it. They talk about it with their colleagues, with their friends. They get their opinions about it. There is no better source of alpha anywhere in the world, unless you can get inside the mind of humans, which maybe we will eventually, than reading what people say. Okay. And so, like, people will talk about what movie they're going to see, what they're going to eat for dinner, what peptide they want to get on. They will talk about the new product they want to buy. They will talk about everything in their life. You just have to know where to look. Okay. But listen, being an attention arb trader, you got to get to the absolute earliest detection point. You want to be first. Every single time you want to be first. And this is like ground zero of where the change that we're looking for starts. It starts in people's heads, and then they talk about it. They speak it, right?
You know that you mentioned peptides. It brings me to a interesting question, which is like, how do you think about the best expression of an idea? Because oftentimes in the iPhone example, it's obvious you buy Apple, or in the AWS example, you buy Amazon. The peptides is an interesting one because everyone is talking about this forever, and that's one where it's a little bit more unclear. It's like, is it Hims? Is it Eli Lilly? Like, how do you identify the best expression of your idea and then figure out whether or not it's tradable?
Okay, great question. First of all, on peptides, I'm not there yet. I mean, we're planning a big peptide episode where we are going to kind of dissect all the theoretical peptide
Nice.
trades on Dumb Money Live.
We need that.
But there's a lot of research that goes into an episode like that.
Yeah.
There are two ways to look at it. One is who will be the real beneficiary of this? Where will this be a needle mover? Is this a needle mover for HIMS? Is it a needle mover for some other platform? But there's a better way to look at this in early days. Sometimes it matters less who the beneficiary of that change will be. And what really matters is what will other investors think, right or wrong, in the early days, right? So if other investors think that, if you come to the determination that other investors will believe that HIMS will be the number one beneficiary of the peptide explosion that I believe we're going to see happen over the next number of months, not years, but months, then you could trade that even if you don't believe that HIMS is going to be a true beneficiary, right? You just have to exit, you know, at the right time. So like, it is hard work though, because like you have to really figure out, is there a needle mover here? And if there is a needle mover, who is it, right? Like, and are there other things happening at this company that are way, way more important than this one thing that I'm trading, peptides, right? Like, you don't know. But I'll tell you this, peptides, it's a freight train. It's coming for us
fast.
No one is going to stop this freight train. I said the same exact thing about Ozempic back in the day.
Did you trade
when
it?
I was trading Novo? People thought I'd lost my mind. I told people, I said, this might be the biggest pharmaceutical drug of our entire lifetime.
What was your tick on that? You TikTok?
So it was TikTok, yes. And I was basically watching every single TikTok video and reading every comment of every woman that was taking, it was taking Ozempic at the time. And it was so clear to me that this was an avalanche. If you listen, most of my career, a lot of my big trades have been front running female and youth trends, because those are the trends that Wall Street tends to be slower at catching on to. So I understand what moves the female mind probably better than most middle-aged white guys. Right? But so I realized that there is almost nothing more important to that females than weight. Okay, I've always known this. This shouldn't be a big secret to anyone. And somebody creates a miracle drug that will shed 15 to 25% of your weight without having to do anything. Are you do I even have to explain this?
Yeah, and I get to inject it? It's like, yeah.
I sat across from my buddy Howard Lindzen at the Crescent Hotel years ago, and I told him this, and he looked at me with glass eyes. He's like, "What are you talking about, dude?" I'm like, "Drop everything and put all your money into Novo right now, because I'm telling you, this thing is going to fly. It's going to fly."
So when you do that, how much time is spent on like financials and revenue and like the current price and what it's trading at right now? What % of your thesis is reliant on that?
Virtually none. I just have to know. I just have to know, is this a needle mover for the company or not?
Is this a needle mover? Got it.
And by the way, AI will tell you that in 2 seconds. You don't even have to do the work anymore. And is there anything else happening at the company right now that, if my thesis is correct, and if the investment community comes to learn what I know is a fact over the next 6 months, is there something else happening at this company that could be more meaningful than that? And, AI will do a great job helping you with that exercise. So you might not have to actually do anything anymore in terms of real fundamental work. But like, honestly, this is the equivalent of like a hair drug for men. Like I've always said that if someone creates a miracle drug for hair, I will sell every single stock in my portfolio. I will put it in.
It's him.
And I will make $1 billion on that trade. If someone invents a cure for hair loss that reverses hair loss, I will make $1 billion on that trade. I will be the most heavily invested, most levered psychotic trader around that drug the second that information comes
Wait,
out that someone has cracked the
you know
code.
about the finasteride minoxidil stack?
No, it
Should I
is
get off it?
not good. It's not good
It's
enough.
not good enough. I agree.
And it has too many side effects. So
Yeah.
I'm not listen. I'm not
No
saying
kidding,
that it
by the
won't.
way.
I'm not saying it won't be successful. I'm saying it's not the magic pill that GLP-1s were for weight loss. It's not it.
Fair. Wait, on the AI thing, I have a question. There's this a friend of mine. His name is Good Alexander on Twitter. He's a really sharp guy, and he talks about this concept of hallucination yield, which is basically if everyone's asking LLMs what to buy and when they should buy it, hallucination yield is basically the delta between the price target ChatGPT gives you and what a stock is currently trading at. And in theory, if everyone is outsourcing their information to LLMs, what the LLM tells you to buy or suggests you invest in will have an increasing impact on market flows in the future. Like, what do you think about that concept?
Yeah, it's absolutely true. And, the thought that someone's asking an LLM what to buy, it makes me want to just shoot myself. The number, I have a multitude of people that had texted and emailed me the week of Meta earnings, the big earnings week that were like, dude, ChatGPT is telling me that Meta is most likely
It was
to explode.
screaming to buy Meta, by the way.
Dude, I was like, I almost shorted Meta just based on that. I had no position in Meta. I didn't care about Meta. I was like, dude, what the hell are all you guys doing? Like, that's not how you use AI for trading. Like, you use AI as an assistant to help you with deep research. So, like, as I just said, I come up with a thesis. Then I want to ask very granular, specific questions and have the AI just do the dirty work research for me that contributes to supporting my thesis or not. But I don't ever ask it blindly what stocks to buy. I mean, that's just not how LLMs work. If you know how they work, it's a fool's errand to like go about using them in that way.
I like that take. One potential social arb trader that's been getting talked about a lot. I'm sure you've seen the AP Swatch. What do you think about that? Are you in the trade? Are you thinking about the trade? A lot of people in my chat are excited about it.
So there are potentially two waves to that trade. The first wave of that trade is being a really astute social arb trader and getting in that trade early before anyone
2 weeks
else did.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You knew it was coming. You made an assessment for the reaction that it would have, especially amongst investors, because there are a lot of investors that are big watch guys. Okay, this is part of the culture here. To be a great attention arb trader, you have to understand culture, and so the demographic that this is going to hit just happens to be the demographic that invest as well. Okay, and that matters. So that trade's long gone. So there's a potential second wave of the trade. The second wave of the trade potentially is that this weekend becomes more of a mass market media event, meaning that we're going to see such outlandish lines on Saturday morning at Swatch stores.
I have a kid already in line right now, camping out 3 days ahead because I want one for the stream. There's lines, New York, everywhere right now.
I know. Listen, man. I got a strategy.
I know you know. My bad. Keep going.
I'm gonna be there too.
Keep going.
So I get it. I love this stuff, man. I love it. Dude, I have done this so many times. Like I used to trade Target collabs, okay, back in the day when it would move the needle for Target because it would bring so many people into Target.
Wait, you talked about it. What was a Sony? What was it?
So Missoni was one. I mean, there were so many. There's like dozens. Dozens of them. I bought the Missoni bike as a souvenir and just kept it in my garage because I made so much money off those trades. So if it becomes a true like mass market media moment this weekend, that it becomes a massive news story on Sunday and Monday, what we might see are people outside of the watch market. We might see more retail investors, just general retail investors say, dude, I got to own Swatch. This is crazy, right? And you might see a pop on Monday from the weekend madness. And I would say that the time to kind of exit out of that more or less would probably be Monday. So you'd want to kind of get in that trade now, exit Monday, but that's only if you believe that they are going to knock it out of the park this weekend, and it's going to be an otherwise slow market news kind of weekend, right, for markets. And this one's going to be in the journal on Monday, and like everyone's going to be talking about it. Yeah, it could have some juice. The big trade's over. The obvious easy trade on Swatch is over.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
Do you did this interview? I don't know. You've done a lot of interviews, but I was listening to some old ones, and you mentioned you take 2 trades a year. And so, like, do you get fired up about a Swatch like scalp, or you're kind of like
no.
you
So by the way,
love the game?
I do more than 2 now, a lot more than 2 now. I used to only be able to do 2. Sometimes I can get 10 plus high convictions in a year now.
Wow.
It's been happening. Like it happened last year was a monster year for me. Last year might end up being the best year I've ever had in the market. And then this year is turning into another one of those years. 2020 formally was the best year before that. So the more change and the quicker the change and the bigger the change, the bigger the opportunity for a social arb trader, someone that trades on change. So yeah, the love of the game. I love it, man. It's not about the money always. Like it's not about the money. Sometimes I just like these little fun ones. Because they're just fun and it's nostalgic for me. And I used to trade movie releases. The last big one I did was Barbie.
Oh, are you gonna make the movie, the trading movie?
Well, I did have a 2-second clip in Dumb Money, the movie that they put us in. If you watch it, it's about an hour in, so look out for us in that movie. I don't know, man. You know what? I do feel this way though. I feel that if you fast forward 10 years, the concept of trading, investing, this is going to be one of the biggest things on earth. I think we are going to have hundreds of millions of guys like us that are living and dying and eating trading, right? Like in investing, and because it will become a primary means for wealth building in the age of abundance, when the world is just rapidly changing and it is really hard to differentiate yourself purely through your human output. And it's more about capital allocation. So the whole concept of allocating capital will be something that we'll all have our eyes glued to. And by the way, I'm transitioning a bit. Like my passion in life is people. It's like I really just love people, man. I love people that are doing great things. And while I'm a big believer in AI, I've been talking about AI for 3+ years, saying it's the biggest opportunity of your life as an investor is to invest in AI. I've been getting beat up, especially early days. Like 3 years ago, I got beat up so hard for this. Now people are coming around on it. I now think that there's a massive opportunity in people. Like, and what I mean by that is if you are one of the few people that can survive this AI super cycle and develop a brand for yourself, a voice for yourself, a following. Like, I think if we fast forward 5 to 10 years, like podcasters, the ones that truly have a unique, strong, raw voice that are deeply connected with other humans, will be the new athletes worth hundreds of millions of dollars each. Like I truly believe that.
Take, by the way,
that
traders as well.
That is the way.
Beautiful take.
Yeah, and I want to help them. Because I find that fascinating, and I think some of the biggest future podcasters are petrified of ever putting a mic in front of them that's not just their iPhone with doing TikToks. So, like, my next big move is to help find the next generation of like human creators and help them become like $100+ million brands 5 to 10 years from now. Like, I think that's the big arb trade right now. And by the way, for me, it's just fun because I've been, like I said, man, like I get joy out of being around really interesting, ambitious, colorful people that are just balls to the wall trying to do something crazy and big, and like they like doing things outside of conventional business, which that's content creators, right? Like I just want to hang out with other content creators, help them. So like that's going to be the thing that I do next, which means because I know what's happening. You guys are getting in my world, you're going to make my world harder. So like like I'm going to start to phase out of just invest 4, 5, 6 hours a day of social arb research. Like that'll become less.
So I used to scream this take around. I used to scream crypto influencers are the new celebrities. And I would always joke like we're gladiators in the arena. We're like the modern day warriors and shit. Where does financial media go? We do this every day. Like where does this, you do financial media. It's honestly a relatively small group.
No, man. You know why it's small?
Where does it go?
Because it's boring. Finance is boring, dude. And I'm going to tell you right now, other than you crazy ass crypto guys, crypto is boring to most of us. Like it's just boring as hell, dude. Like most like normal people that aren't crypto traders, okay? Or technical traders, or like finance heads. Like we hate finance because finance is boring, dude. So here's the thing. Here's going to be the pivotal moment for finance is when the entire world, whether it happens slowly or quickly, starts to invest like I do. Because the shit that I do is not boring.
No,
okay?
Fuck it is not.
And
yes, Chris.
And when the world wakes up to the fact that this is where the alpha is, all of a sudden, you're going to have 1 billion people watching finance creators and like become like looking for alpha in their life, looking for alpha on TikTok, looking for alpha in YouTube videos, like anywhere where they see the world changing, they're connecting dots and they're like, dude, can I get rich off the fact that I just sat in this car, a Tesla, back in 2016, 17. Yeah, you can, man. You can. Okay.
Wait, what's the blocker? Like, what's the blocker and why hasn't a GME type of moment happened again? I guess it's a little bit different.
Nobody believes my story. Nobody, like people would rather believe that you can get rich off of a meme stock or a crypto coin than the fact that you could actually get rich through real companies that are benefiting from real change that's happening in the world. For some odd reason, nobody wants to believe that you can do what I've done. They either don't believe that I've done it, or they believe that I'm some weird anomaly that can't be replicated. Meanwhile, I have thousands of people in my community that are just regular guys and women, more guys than women, that have regular jobs, that have been doing this now for 3 or 5 or 7 years. And they're like, dude, I'm averaging like 30 or 40% annualized. And all I'm doing is connecting dots from what I see in the real world to companies that are benefiting from it. And they're like, I don't even know how to thank you. I'm like, dude, like you just did. Because like the fact that I know what it's like to have a regular job and to be capped. I know, but don't get me wrong, my regular job, I was making a ton of money, like $250,000 a year, but that was not enough for me. But I was still capped. I was like, dude, I either got to go get some other random job and maybe it's better, maybe it's worse. But like, dude, I'm not going any higher in this job. And a lot of people are in that scenario, but they're capped at like 50K or 80K or 90 or 100. And they will never make more money than that, ever, for the rest of their life. Ever. Okay? Other than maybe some inflationary moves. There's only one way out. If you're a regular person with a regular job, the only crack that you have of building generational wealth is to come to terms with the fact that you can be a great investor. And by the way, you can just do it on the side and you can have fun with it. You don't have to work with technicals. You don't have to be this pedigreed Wharton grad. You don't have to understand finance at all, especially in the day of AI. All you have to do is figure out how to observe the world around you and connect the dots of change to companies that are either benefiting or being harmed by the change you see happening in the world around you, which by the way, most of that seeing is like watching videos on TikTok and reading comments. And how fun is that, dude? Like, if that's not fun, a fun way to make money, I don't know what is.
What's your screen time every day?
You know, it historically, I used to spend about 4 hours a day doing this.
Okay.
I am more distracted than I've ever been, and I'm more interested in diversifying how I spend my time, whatever time I have left in the world, doing things I really enjoy. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoy this, but I've been doing this a long time,
Yeah.
and I've made way more money than I ever thought I could make from it. And now I'm like starting to have more fun in my life. I'm starting to spend more time with friends and family and hanging out and just doing fun stuff. So I'd say 2 hours a day meaningfully now, every night, that I'm dissecting comments on TikTok videos.
Nice.
Not four. And by the way, that's usually only like 5 or 6 days a week, where it used to pretty consistently be 7. Even if I was going out, I'd get home at like 1 in the morning and I'd start cranking like 1 to 3 or 1 to 4.
I mean, that's
Even if I'm like,
achievable. That's a realistic target you just threw out there.
dude, anybody can do this. There's no excuses, dude. And there's so much other stuff. I talk about this in all my other interviews. Like, you got to bucket your money. You got to have a designated account to be ballsy with, right? And like, don't put your kids' retirement in that account. Start a new account. Like, only put money in there that you could take big risk with. You know, start making trade-offs in your life. Start balling with a new account with risk capital. But dude, don't start now. Anybody can do it.
Okay, I have two more. I'll let you go really quick.
Yeah.
Number one is there's this reminiscence of a stock operator, Jesse Livermore. He has this concept of, like, I don't know what he calls it, like acts of God or something. When he has a generational setup, a great trade, and then some bullshit completely out of his control you could have never forecasted happens, blows the trade up, he loses money. You have this one story about Frozen and the dolls that came out, and it was like a generational trade, but the company was bankrupt. They printed a bunch of stocks, sold it on your head. You lost a bunch of money on the trade. Any other fun examples of that?
Yeah, I mean, there's never such a thing as a sure thing in investing. Just know there's always something. Those are the two that stick in my head, quite honestly. That damn Frozen doll. The fact that there was a hedge fund that sold their entire position the day of the biggest earnings report in the company's history, and I nailed the trade. I nailed the fact that Frozen doll was going to be a game changer for them. It was the #1 best-selling toy in the world, and stock was up 30% pre-market and ended up the day down 20 or 30% because a fund sold 10%.
Oh my God.
They own 10% of the company, and they dumped the entire position in one day. I don't even know how they pulled that off. But they did it because they sold into strength. They're like, they've been wanting to dump out those shares for years, dude. And as an investor, you will never know. Also, as an investor, you will never know if there's going to be a macro market movement that's going to wreck your trade. As an investor, you will never know if something random pops up for that company that just was off your radar. There are so many ways for your trade to go bad. It's all about probability and outcomes. And as long as you understand that there's no such thing as a sure thing, and hey, I'm willing sometimes to put double digits of my portfolio into a single trade, all options. I'm willing to live with the fact that I might lose 10, 20, even 30% of my liquid net worth if something bad happens in a second. But that's because the objective of what I'm going for is big, right? Like, I'm trying to build a $1 billion charitable foundation. I have to take big swings in my life if I want to get there. And also, I'm in it to win it. Like, there's something fun about having, a 20-year audited track record of, 70%. Like, that's something I'm really proud of that I thought I would never be able to pull off. When I wrote Laughing at Wall Street in 2010, I was only 3 years into this journey.
How old
and
were
there
you?
was God, that was 2010, 20, 15, 16 years ago. So I was like mid 30s, young 30s, I guess.
Wow.
young 30s. So I thought there was a chance that it was a fluke, that I was just like, I was an anomaly and I could never keep that up. Maybe I could do it for 2 more years. It's like, oh, can I push it to 10? I was like, can I do 15? Now I'm at 18, and I just want 2 more years. Um, because I believe in the methodology, and I want to be able to say, hey, this methodology has worked for 20 years, right? And there's something fun. I don't know what that means. Is it the best retail trader in history? I think it's probably close to it. I know there's some other crazy traders out there that live in the shadows that have never been publicized. They're quiet and are probably doing just as well as I'm doing somewhere in the world. But I want to show that a normal, regular guy can pull this off without having that, not working for a hedge fund, that you can do it. You can make hundreds of millions of dollars in the market, starting with like a $20,000 account. I want to show that that's possible.
I can't wait to see the audit. Okay, last question before a sign off. You did this interview like 4 years ago, I think 4, 5, 6 years ago, maybe. And you're talking to this guy and you like ask him, are you prepared for like if the biggest earthquake in America hits California? Like, what are you gonna do with your money? I'm prepared. I think about this all day. What do you do when the biggest earthquake hits America? And are you thinking about natural disaster trades?
Yeah, of course, dude. So I call this having a prepared mind. Okay, this is one of the easiest trades you will ever make. Basically, as an investor, you should have 20 scenarios. Each of those scenarios maybe has a 5% likelihood of happening in your lifetime. You know exactly what you're going to do if and when that scenario plays out. It could be an earthquake in California. It could be a news report comes out that someone just found the magic pill for baldness, male pattern baldness, like I was talking about. And you should have 20 of those, 30 of those, right? They're all unlikely to happen at any moment in time, but collectively, it is highly likely that 1 or 2 or 3 of those will happen over your lifetime. And if it happens on a weekday during market hours, that's the grand slam, because you will be one of the only people in the world that's been sitting there and waiting for it. And maybe you set a Google alert for it, right? And you know exactly what you're going to trade. Now, it sounds dumb, but it actually takes humans and hedge funds a pretty long time once something happens to kind of assess it, to do research, to think like, okay, what am I going to do about this? What's my play? You would think that in 2026 that the market is so efficient. It is so inefficient when it comes to any low probability scenario. Like, I tell people as a joke, if it came out on CNN right now that we just discovered an asteroid that is 100% going to hit Earth in 2 years and we are done, we are over, and you saw like 10 other mainstream news channels that were like, this is real, and the president comes up, even then your brain is going to be like not clocking it quickly enough. You're going to be like, you need time. Like, we need time to process. What you want to do is
Wait, so what are you doing in that
eliminate.
scenario?
What?
What are you doing in that scenario?
That's a longer conversation.
Okay.
But like, it doesn't matter. There are trades to be had. And by the way, AI will help you with these trades. The trades almost don't even matter because AI will help you with them. You just need to be mentally prepared for these low probability scenarios, including another pandemic, by the way.
Yeah.
Because when one of them happens, you want to be able to move in real time. The difference between moving in a matter of minutes and moving in a matter of hours might be the biggest trade of your entire life. Because if you could move in minutes with high conviction, with leverage, when one of those 20 low probability things actually starts to materialize, you will make the biggest trade of your life. And that's the only trade you ever need to make to be a top 1% or even 1/10 of 1% investor. And people do not pay enough respect to the fact that All you need to do is have a little preparation, do a little homework. I got a lot of these. I don't talk about them because I don't want like the whole world to be onto all my low probability trades, but there are a ton of them. You just need to mentally prepare, because if you don't mentally, I promise you one thing, you will not pull the trigger on that trade unless you've been thinking about it for years.
Dude, you're
If you've been
fucking
thinking about it for years,
fucking
you will pull that damn trigger so hard because have been
You're
waiting.
fucking
You have
nuts,
been
bro.
waiting for it to happen. So the second it happens, I don't care where you are. You could be in your car. You will pull over to the side of the road,
Oh my God.
put on the trade. Like it will happen.
Don't tell me the plan, but which outcome are you the most prepared for?
Man, I mean, I am pretty prepared for that disaster outcome. The disaster outcomes are pretty easy trades, and they're coming, right? Like there's another virus coming at some point, dude. I hate saying it. But like in the age of, by the way, also in the age of AI, as much as I like to stay optimistic about this, there are some bad actor things that are going to happen in the next 10 or 15 years because of the democratization of intelligence. The democratization of intelligence is going to result in some of the greatest breakthroughs in all of humanity. It is also going to result in some of the scariest stuff that we have ever seen.
Yeah.
So you just got to be prepared for both. You got to be prepared for both. It's happening. The cool thing about AI is that stuff is going to happen quickly. You've already seen it in the markets, right?
Fast.
So this is why I tell crypto traders, equity traders cannot process information quickly. They just can't. They've been doing this so slowly for so many decades. You guys as crypto traders, your brains, your neurons are hitting way quicker than equity traders. Also, you guys are willing to take risk. You're accustomed to concentration. You're not afraid of leverage, and you're not afraid of losing a crap ton of money when you're wrong. So like you are in the driver's seat to like own equity traders once you kind of get comfortable with this world. So hey, I'm happy to see you, man. Like welcome to it.
I'm happy to see you too, man.
I can't wait to I love watching other guys that are even ballsier and younger and quicker than me, make it in this world of social arb, attention arb. This is what I've been waiting for. I just want to see other guys, and maybe even someday women, though I doubt it. They are so afraid of this world. Get into the space and crush it because every time they do, there's an institution on Wall Street that is so pissed off by it. They're so pissed off at it. We will literally dismantle that world like one trader at a time.
When you say, the funniest thing about talking about the natural disaster happening is, if it happens to be within market hours, which sounds ridiculous to me. Are you on the perps wave, 24/7 markets, hyperliquid perps? Like, what do you think about that concept?
I am not. This is where I'm
Really?
like an old school guy. I should be. Listen, you're right. I should be, and maybe I'll get on. But I'm kind of like semi-retired, man. I'm just like, I know it sounds crazy. I just don't care as much as I used to.
Fair.
So like getting on to new things, for me, I just don't care. But I should be on it. I absolutely should be. Like, no doubt about it. I should. But I'm doing less these days, not more.
Fair. Chris, I got to sign off for you, but this is absolutely incredible. I think you're sort of like the mega boss of a lot of things that I talk about on a micro scale. And so man, you're like an inspirational as a concept to watch what you do, to follow your style, because I think it's very familiar and refreshing to a lot of people that come from the crypto world, come from these niche markets. You feel like you can't compete, and then you watch somebody who seems fairly achievable compete at the highest level and crush it, which is awesome. So I really appreciate you coming on. I love that you do so much media. Shout out all your stuff, shill all your stuff. But final question is, who are your personal, if any, like trading goats? Like, who do you think is the best? Who did you take inspiration from? If it's nobody, that's kind of cool too, but I'm just curious.
No, there have been two. One is Peter Lynch. Obviously, Peter Lynch is the GOAT of observational investing with the Magellan Fund back in the day. I read his book, One Up on Wall Street, as a kid. I mean, listen, everything I do now is inspired by what he did. I just do it in way more of a pure way. For Peter Lynch, it was part of his methodology. For me, it's 100% of my methodology. I also, I like Steve Cohen
Nice.
because of how ballsy he has been throughout his career and how aggressive he has been just with everything that he's done. And we both grew up on Long Island. We're Long Island kids. I'm very different from him. What we do is very different from each other, but I just like just how aggressive he is. Like he wants to be the best, and like I want to be the best at what I do. And like, he got into some trouble along the way, right? But he pushed the limit of what you could do as a hedge fund when he was more active. So those are the two guys that come to mind.
That's awesome. Have you ever like thrown up because your size is too big in a trade?
Close to it, yeah. But you got to realize something. I've been trading options since I was a young teenager. It's like anything else. You just become so used to something, you don't feel it anymore. The only time I became almost physically sick from a loss was that QSR trade where I did lose a third of my liquid net worth, and it was really hard. I didn't know if I was going to come back. Thank God I did. That was the one time that it really hit me hard. But no, I just don't care. I just don't care because I'm not like a big consumer of things. So like, I don't even the money I have is all for a greater good. I pour most of my excess returns into my charitable foundation. So it's, I have enough to live. I don't need anything. So it's just a matter of, am I going to build the foundation quicker or slower? If I'm having a good year, it's going to build it quicker. If I'm having a bad year, I'm upset because I want to do good in the world. And the foundation is part of how I do that. It's like, when you're not trading to pay your bills, you don't really get nervous. You just go for it.
Actual last question, then no sign up, just walk out.
Yeah.
When you make $100K, $1 million, and 10 million for the first time, what do you do with the money?
Nothing. I like I said, I don't, it's the win that matters. I'm not trying to buy something.
And what if you were to recommend to somebody else in their trading portfolio that isn't as insane? Like, how would you protect yourself? 100K, mil, 10 mil for the first time.
I think the biggest trap, and I've fallen into this many times, after my biggest wins, I do the dumbest things, not by buying things, but the worst trades come after that.
Yeah.
The absolute worst. So I'll tell you exactly what to do. When you hit a grand slam and you're like, dude, I just knocked it out of the park. I am a genius. I know exactly what I'm doing. Don't even touch the market for a while in a big way. Just chill out. You're not as smart as you think you are, okay? You are about to make the worst trade of your life. If history repeats itself, almost every time I've knocked it out of the park, I have then gone on to do something so stupid because I get so overconfident. I'm so cash flush that I am not as regimented with my process. And that is the trap. I know I just said not to do this, but I know everyone watching is going to make the same mistake that I made. There's only one way to learn these lessons. You got to get destroyed. You got to lose money. The only way you really learn in this game is by losing money. And then you'll learn. But that's what I would say to do. Do less after your big wins. And you'd be better off taking part of that money and actually doing something fun with your family, your friends. You'd be better off buying something rather than just making a dumb trading move, because that's what you're likely to do. Because, like, I think most of us are not in this to like buy the exotic car or the plane. Most of us are in this because we love to win. We just want to prove it to ourselves that we can do it. This is like people do not understand. Let me say one thing. This is important. People
Rip it.
don't respect what we do.
Hell yeah.
This is the biggest game on earth outside of soccer. Do your research. Outside of soccer, there is no more competitive sport than investing. So if you make it to the top rung of investing, you have just outcompeted more people than any game or sport or any competition in the world, more than chess, more than anything, okay? The only thing that has more people playing and trying to be good at it is soccer, according to my research, right? So like, how cool is it to like play a game where the stakes are that big? And if you can make it into the top 1%, like, and we don't get enough credit for that.
At
Like, if
all.
you look at
At
the
all.
top baseball players, the top tennis players, the top football, the top basketball players, dude, they got nothing on us who have gotten to the top ranks of investing, because there are
My
so
favorite take ever. I fully
many
agree.
people, like, because that's the rush. We're just doing this is sport for us, and people don't understand that we do this for sport. And the same thing as athletes, we love other investors. I love other great investors. Yeah, I want to beat them, but I also want us all to become better over time, So it's like, and by the way, we're all making money at doing it. It's so fucking fun, dude. And you realize how big, by the way, we will eclipse soccer soon. That's the other thing. Like, this is growing now at such an exponential rate in terms of new young people getting into the game of investing. Like, there will be no competitive sport on earth in 5 years bigger than investing. So like, we're part of the biggest game on earth.
Chris, I think you probably know this, but you're not quitting after 20 years.
I'm not quitting, dude, but I'm gonna, dude, I got to slow down, man.
I think you know this already, but it's not looking likely.
I'll slow down. I tell people I love this sport because I will be on my deathbed in a hospital. All I need is my phone, man. Just give me my phone. I'll still be trading. You could still do this. People like golf because you can play golf when you're older. Dude, you could play this game when you're immobile. Okay, so it's like, how fun is that? And you're still competing. I welcome the competition. I welcome all the crypto kids, because like, I know my job's going to get harder. I'm up for it. Like, yeah, welcome to my world. Let's go.
Chris Camillo, absolute pleasure, man. You're the GOAT. Oh, when do you sell Amazon?
I don't think it's going to be for a while, and here's why. I think the ultimate move on Amazon hasn't happened yet because they are the #1 beneficiary of the AI efficiency wave, which has not started yet. So if you look at the AI waves, starting with chips, then moving towards infrastructure and power, the next big wave is the AI efficiency wave, and that hasn't started, and that's where Amazon is really going to shine, and no one is talking about that yet. So like, Amazon has like layers of things that are happening right for the company. The thing I'm most excited about, people aren't even, their brains aren't even there yet. So like, I think we have rounds of positive surprises for Amazon in the future, and I could see myself just continuing to like compound and lay back into Amazon after every big win. And this could go on not just for months, but we could have years left in this Amazon trade if the world plays out the way I think it's going to. And by the way, I might change my mind tomorrow if things, you have to be willing to kind of look at new information day to day. But right now, it's still my #1.
When you wake up in the morning, how much time do you let pass before you check the tape?
Usually, I don't even check it in the morning. Right. Sometimes I'll check it right when I look at it. But honestly, I like to do my stuff, do my cold ice shower.
Yeah, you're a cold plunge kind of guy for sure.
I chill out. I do my little meditation, try to get my head right, and stuff like that. So usually like 45 minutes.
Are you like a 5 a.m. wake up kind of guy?
No way. No
No
way.
way?
You got to remember, I'm up late.
You're
I'm
up
up really
late.
late, man. Yeah, I'm up till like 3 usually. So like,
Jeez, really?
yeah. So that's when I do all my research.
Damn,
So
go to bed, man.
I'm usually not even up until after the market has opened, and so
You don't do
the
market
only
open?
8:30 my time, Central time.
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah, so I'm not up, and I don't care. Like I do not. I tell all my friends, I'm like, dude, all my friends are like texting me shit happening. I'm like, dude, I don't care. I do not care. I do not need to pay attention to the market. I think one of the healthiest things that an investor can do, and I challenge every investor to do this. I know you won't. You must
No, you
take a
won't.
full 24 hours off from the market. You are not allowed to look at stocks or look at business. You don't know if the market was up that day or down. You don't know what the hell happened. You must take at minimum a 24-hour break once every 1 to 2 months.
Ooh,
If you can't do
damn.
that, you got a problem, man.
Chris, I got a problem, brother.
You got to do it. I will
I
tell
got a
you.
problem, man.
Hey, you know, like Tim Ferriss will literally go to the to like Costa Rica and like lock his phone up and learn how to salsa dance and crap for mental health. I'm not telling you to do that for a week. I'm telling you just to not look at any financial assets or business
Fuck.
news for 24 hours. I promise you, you will feel so great if you pull that off. You will be so proud of yourself and you will feel like a normal fucking person, dude. Okay? Like I know what it's like to
Man,
be the way that you guys
that
think
sounds
as
awful.
younger traders. I used to get depressed on Fridays when I was a kid because the weekend was coming and there was nothing. There was no crypto. There was no after hours. None. I literally remember being like depressed because I didn't know how I was going to get through the weekend. So that is not okay. It's not mentally healthy. And I know that's the way every single one of you guys are. Like, this is why I don't want 24-hour trading.
I'm fried,
I
dude.
don't want it.
Chris,
I
I'm
don't,
fried.
it's not good for you.
I'm fried. Yeah, I mean, this is actually 24 hours. I can't even. I mean, I'm watching every tick a lot. Oftentimes, I'm at the gym. My phone's out. It's
Do it one time. Do it once. The next one, before I talk to you again, before the next time I come on your show, the next time you email me to do it,
Okay.
I want you to tell me when you did
Do
the
you have like
24-hour
what should I
cleanse.
do? You have a recommendation? Like where should I go?
Anything you want. But here's the deal. You cannot tell everybody, don't text me
Don't
crap
call
about the
me.
market. I'm taking a 24-hour cleanse. It's like a juice cleanse, man. It's for your brain and it's for your nervous system. And it's
Okay.
so damn good. And it's going to make you remember who the hell you are as a person outside of this crazy life of trading that we all get sucked into.
Chris, before part 2, you have my promise. 24 hours, I'll do I'll even do a juice cleanse at the same time. I'll buy them from Sweet Green. I'll wear my Swatch AP and it'll be a whole thing. Dude, you're awesome. Thanks for coming on.
All
Man.
right.
Thanks for staying so long after. We'll do part 2 at some point, but you're awesome, man.
See you on the Swatch line on Saturday. Guys,
Yeah,
you guys
by the way,
follow
good
me
luck.
on X, Chris Camillo and dumbmoney.tv for all the socials.
Cool. I got guys out in every line. Good luck. Good luck to yours. I'll tell you that.
All right, later.
Chris, have a good one.
Bye.
Peace. Cinema, man. That guy fucking is nuts, bro. I got a fucking lunatic, man. That was cinema, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That guy's a lunatic. If that doesn't make you feel like you can make money in the markets, I don't know what will. I genuinely don't know what will make you feel confident in yourself to make money in the markets if that doesn't fire you up. That's top 2. I'm not gonna lie. He's the GOAT, bro. Also, I'm gonna share it right now. I'm gonna do it. He mentioned his community. The coolest thing he said, I'm gonna do it right now. The coolest thing he said, the whole stream, is that these hedge funds are washed because his community on Twitter, on Discord, or whatever, has so much alpha and ability to cover ground and act as like free independent investors that funds could never do. They have the up and up. And so I'm just going to shill it because there's probably some Chris Camillo heads in here. I'm just going to say it. We might have the best comm in all of trading. The best comm. The pit. I'm in there all day. I post my trades. I post my thesis. I post my ideas. Right now it's a one-way because there's some people I don't really want their trades to muddy my brain. But I'm like crying. Something in my eye. If you're interested, if you like what we do, if you fuck with the interview, join the pit. Just join it. Just do it. I think it'll be worth your time. I really do. It's awesome in there, man. Shout out to Chris Camillo. It really, I mean, it's what we do every day, right? Like the way that he trades is the way that we think. And you see a guy, like you sort of need a poster child. I mean, he even like says the same things we say. Crypto influencers are the new celebrities. Trading is a sport. Like he covers the same topics we cover, but you need a poster child. You know what I mean? You need a poster child. And like I've done well. I haven't made $80 million. I have not made $80 million. And so when you see a guy like that do it, Chris Camillo, thanks for the gifted Live the Life TV. When you see a guy like that do it, it just makes you think like, man, yeah, these markets are inefficient. These markets are beatable. We do have edge. The crypto education did train us for fucking 5 years of 24/7 markets to get prepared for this. And we are just, I don't know, we're just going to win. It's the way I always see it. It's like, I'm going to make 8 figures trading. And so I think if you sit here long enough, hang out in the comment, watch what I'm doing, you're sort of like guaranteed to do the same thing. And so I believe it. I deeply believe it, man. I deeply believe it. So shout out to Chris Camillo. Also, we do this every day. Also, we have like what I was predicting to be the sickest interview of all time tomorrow. Like a generational interview tomorrow with Air Mass, who is, in my opinion, the greatest bull poster ever. One of the better traders to come through CT. And he very publicly took a 6-month hiatus. His first tweet back in 6 months was to call Paul Tudor Jones a retard. His second tweet back in 6 months was a Flores Meta and full port Micron at $500. He's up almost 2x on infinite size. He doesn't do interviews. You don't just like get an Air Mass interview. It's not a thing that happens. You don't get Air Mass on the interview, okay? But we did tomorrow at 5 EST. And so, man, I don't know. I think the coolest thing he said, honestly, is that right now finance is boring, but the more retail traders that come into the scene, the less boring it gets. And I'm just going to tell you, we are accelerating that curve, brother. We are accelerating that curve rapidly. We're bringing them here. We're learning how to trade together. We're doing it on the fly. And I think that he's right. It's going to be the biggest game in the world. It's going to be the biggest sport in the world very soon. And so tomorrow, as a follow-up, it's going to be a very important stream. I would have loved to have stayed and covered these other topics with you today, but Chris ran over way longer than I thought. And I think everybody there was happy that it did. So